Hello, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Layers podcast. Happy Thursday, everybody. It is almost the end of the work week and Christmas is approaching fast. So I hope everybody has gotten the things done that they need to. And if not, if you need some last minute, 100% organic, USA, family owned, operated, made, please go to my website at karachristiansen.com. I have lots of goodies on there and great discounts happening right now. So karachristiansen.com and just go over to the shop. I also have a lot of discounts going on my services and the products. So I hope you guys find something special on there. Please do reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. My email address is karachristianseninc, as in incorporated, INC, at gmail.com. And I am going to, oops, I forgot to go live over here. That's okay. I'm going to keep it scrolling at the bottom, and I thank you guys that have donated to the stream. I appreciate you guys. Welcome to Behind the Layers, and this is going to be a very fun episode because we are going to be talking about one of the best kept secrets in beauty and health. That is baking soda, and also how to blast that belly fat quickly, very fast. How you need to operate to blast that belly fat, and here's how to do it. Hi, Bo. Good morning. I am going to show you guys a ton of videos today because I like to research and make sure that everybody is on the same page that's in the doctor's realm of studies. So, I know it sounds simple. It sounds like some gimmicky type thing, but it is actually something that's been used for quite some time as a remedy. So the baking soda is a very big deal, but we're going to start out with the belly blaster. And at the end of today's podcast is going to be a very interesting life hack that you might just want to add into your daily routine. So we have lots of in store. Welcome to Behind the Layers. I'm Kara Christensen, your host. I am a fitness professional, health nutritionist, and beauty professional. And all of those are the main focuses that I share with you here. Behind the Layers is a podcast about peeling back the layers in the health, beauty, and fitness world and uncovering the truth so we know what is going to actually work for us and what isn't. So, welcome and let's get started. We are going to dive right into our good old handy dandy videos on YouTube. This guy I thought was great. I thought at first he's just, I went down the rabbit hole of judging a book by its cover. I thought he was just another, Instagrammer or somebody, a fitness guru, fitness guy posting up. This is a doctor and he is actually very informative. And I did a little deep dive on him. So I'm going to start off with him sharing how to blast that belly fat. So anybody that needs to know about this, listen up because we are about to dive right in. Here we go.
To lose fat quickly. So I know you have a lot of questions and you may be wondering, Dr. Mike, what do you mean quickly and why should I listen to you? Number one, I'm a medical doctor. I'm also a scientist. I majored in biochemistry and microbiology. But on top of that, I practice what I preach. So out of the 5 times that I lost my belly fat, 2 out of those 5 times, including right now, I've done it as little as 90 days. Right now, 90 I've lost days. More than 1% of my body weight per week. But how much exactly? Over the last 30 days, I've dropped 10.6 pounds, which is equivalent to 1.4% of my body weight per week without any side effects. And I am sure that it's only muscle. Let me share with you the 5 simple steps that I'm following. It's simple, but it's not easy. Let's dive into the first mistake you're making and then into the 5 steps. Let's not waste any time. The number 1 mistake that's keeping you fat is simple. It's calories in versus calories out. And don't let any of the fitness gurus out there confuse you and sell you on something else. Let me explain. Here we have a donut, 190 calories, widely regarded as unhealthy. Here we have a protein bar, has a bit of a better reputation, more protein. And this protein bar is exactly the same calories. Well, relatively, 200 calories in this protein bar. But let's be honest here. Who just eats one donut and who only has one protein bar? The reality is you'll maybe have 2, 3 donuts, 4 donuts, maybe 5 donuts. And in reality, you squish it all down. It almost feels like you're dieting, but nothing is happening. The size of this donut and the size of this donut is almost exactly the same. But here's the 1,000+ calories compared to the 190 calories you're supposed to eat. And the same applies with the healthy protein bar, but in reality, you're maybe having 3 or 4 throughout the day, and both of these are equivalent to 1,000 calories. If you're not losing fat, it's simply because you're not in a caloric deficit. It's a tough pill to swallow, but let me show you what you should be doing instead. So step 1.1, I'm gonna show you the smartest way to calculate your own calories very quickly. Go to this website here, calculator.net, and just type in macro calculator. I'll put the link to this in the description. So I'm just gonna put in my data here. I'm 32 years old, I'm 5'8" in height, and I am 180, let's just say 190 pounds to make it easy. And for most of you, if you're training 4 to 5 times a week, I'm gonna say that you're moderately active, right? So just have moderately active. If you're training 6 to 7 times,
He said this is a what? Macro calculator? Let me look. Let me look. Macro calculator.
a week, then I'd put you as.
Back it up. Sorry.
So I'm just gonna put in my data here. I'm 32 years old, but let me show you what you should be doing instead. So step 1.1, I'm gonna show you the smartest way to calculate your own calories very quickly. Go to this website here, calculator.net, and just type in macro calculator. I'll put the link to this in the description. So I'm just gonna put in my data here. I'm 32 years old, I'm 5'8" in height, and I am 180, let's just say 190 pounds to make it easy. And for most of you, if you're training 4 to 5 times a week, I'm gonna say that you're moderately active, right? So just have moderately active. If you're training 6 to 7 times a week, then I'd put you as very active. If you're training 3 to 4, I'd put you at lightly active. 4 to 5 times, moderately active. And then you should put into this app here that you want to lose weight. So 1 pound per week, weight loss. That's it. Hit calculate. And it's going to give you your calories at 2,117 calories. But to be able to figure out your own macros, I just want you to go here to click create your own. And I just want you to ramp up your protein to the highest. And my rule is the minimum fats that I want you to eat is 50. So just scale this thing down until it hits 50.
How handy is this? I did not even know this existed, but this is super helpful to know exactly, instead of a full-on, general basis. Now you can actually find out exactly what your particular body type, how fat, how tall you are, and how much you weigh factors into, how much you should be intaking. This is actually very helpful. I would save that if I were you. I'm actually going to put it in to the chat right now. Macro calorie calculator. I will see if I can pull it up and then I can add it properly, like the actual link.
And then I want you to scale the protein up max, and voila, you have your calories. So protein intake is 180 grams of protein, 51 grams of fat, and here you also have 248 grams of carbs. Now that is perfectly imperfect. The most important part is you just have some macros to follow. The hard part is actually putting them into practice, which I'm going to show you now. Let's go to the kitchen. Hey, if you're a busy professional, you're a CEO, you're a doctor, you're an entrepreneur, you're an executive, I'm going to put on my coaching hat and give you the best advice. Over the last 4 years of my company, Sculpt by Science, December 31st, I get so many messages that I cannot even deal with it. I don't even want to look at.
Okay, so this is about the belly.
Described. And you want to be able to see your abs for the first time in 2025. Please don't wait for January 1st or wait for a special moment. If you're thinking about it and you really want, the best time is now. So fill out the application in the description of the video to be able to work with us potentially.
Okay,
I
so
practice what I preach. And this is how
calories and
it comes up into the 3 meals that I eat. Number one is I'll have pumpkin and 250 grams of chicken breast. I'm showing you the macros on the screen and you've seen me prepare it. The second meal that I have is 4 wraps. And then the third meal I have right before I go to bed is this entire tub of ice cream. I've eaten the exact same food for the last 30 days. And why this helps you lose fat is very simple. It is predictable, so that you're not making mistakes every day, and then you're not like trying to finesse yourself of like, oh, let me
well,
have this protein bar,
this
or
is
let me
for
have
you,
this,
my
or
guy.
hey, I need to have that.
You get to incorporate the ice cream in. Okay, I gotta back that up. He does what now? I don't know. Let's just see. But look at the shape he's in. He's already been in the shape. So you got to get to the where you want to be. This is a maintaining type diet here, you guys. Let's just get real with that. I got to back this.
Practice, and I'm going to show you the smart way to do it. What I do is follow an 80-20 rule, and you can actually see the physical manifestation of that. These are all the meals I eat. 80% of it is from whole foods. 20%, which includes this ice cream, is from anything I want. And this allows me to eat this food each and every single day. So these are my existing macros. It is 183 grams of protein, 50 grams of fat, 189 grams of carbs. I practice what I preach. And this is how it comes up into the 3 meals that I eat. Number one is I'll have pumpkin and 250 grams of chicken breast. I'm showing you the macros on the screen and you've seen me prepare it. The second meal that I have is 4 wraps. And then the third meal I have right before I go to bed is this entire tub of ice cream. I've eaten the exact same food for the last 30 days. And
That's
why this
wild.
helps you lose fat is very simple. It is predictable,
Right.
so that you're not making mistakes every day, and then you're not like trying to finesse yourself of like, oh, let me have this protein bar, or let me have this, or hey, I need to have that. Once you set yourself some hard rules, it's much easier to follow those hard rules. It's black and white. You're either going to jail or you're not. So eating the same food is
You're
very
going to jail.
predictable. I can also see in my body how my body reacts to that food each and every single day. So I can guarantee, or I have a higher degree of certainty that I'm in a caloric
I have to say, I could get down with some like fajita wraps or tacos or burrito wraps literally every day because you can switch up the type of protein if you want to do chicken and eggs or eggs and steak or chicken and steak. Like you can mix and match. So I could totally get down with that. And I see what he's eating in a window. He's eating the same types of food. So he's going to maintain whatever if you're just eating that same. Okay, so I did my 3-day fast, right? And then I started out with drinking some bone broth, and then I had a couple um, sunny side up eggs with the bone broth. And then I waited a little bit and I had like maybe like, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. Not that long because I was, now that the flavors hit my palate, I was starting to get hungry. So 3-day fast, started out with a cup of bone broth and then had some couple of sunny side up eggs, and then I had another egg with some cheese, and then I made some bacon, so I had 2 strips of bacon, and then I had steak and eggs, so then I made with some steak in it and cheese and bacon again. So after that I had 4 cookies because I happened to do some Christmas shopping, and then I had my favorite cookies, which was really dumb. After you don't shop when you are just on a 3-day fast. Yeah, just don't do that. But I ate 4 cookies, and then I had a whole big salad with avocado and all this yummy stuff on it. And what else did I had? I know I had some more stuff. I really ate a lot. And then I went to weigh myself in the morning to keep track of what's happening in my body. And I weighed myself and I weighed the exact same thing as when I weighed myself after the 3 days of fasting. I didn't gain a pound, even though I ate all that stuff after not having food for 3 days. I ate all that stuff. And then, but I only had it in one meal. So, or I'm sorry, not one meal, a short window. So it was probably in like a 4-hour span. I just had like a 4-hour window. And I allowed my body to fast all the rest of the time after that 4-hour window, and not 1 pound. Not one. So that included cookies and all the things. Once you get to where you want to be, you can just maintain it pretty easily. Come on, someone write that down. Put it on a t-shirt. Once you get where you want to be, you can maintain it pretty easily. You just stay in the window. But to get there, you have to do the restrictions. You have to restrict your food intake. You don't have to do a whole 3-day fasting thing. Like you don't have to do that. But if you're into the feast and famine type of way to get your weight down, and then you can just do intermittent fasting to maintain it, which is just eating in a window, whatever you like to eat. I mean, he's eating ice cream and 4 huge wraps filled with stuff. So, I mean, once you get there, maintaining is easy. It's just getting there, and you could get there pretty quickly. I mean, I lost almost all the way the 10 pounds for sure that I put on in that 15-day slim down. That 15-day slim down, and that was a slow roll. I could have lost that 10 pounds in the first 7 days, first 10 days if I wanted to, pound a day by shrinking my window back up and cutting out all that crap. I could have lost that easy in that first week, but I didn't. I did the slow roll with you guys and lost that 15 pounds, no problem. But that's that 15-day kickstart intermittent fasting, shrinking that window, and just get rid of the sugary drinks. That's really a big part of it. The refined sugar, whether it's in the drinks or whether it's in the snacks that you have, just get rid of it. You don't need it. There's so many great options. You can have like a yummy Greek yogurt with, I know not a lot of people like Greek yogurt, but if you put like monk fruit or stevia in it, or maybe just some raw honey, throw in some berries in there, maybe even some dark chocolate chips. Get the chocolate chip morsels. Don't put candied, don't put like M&Ms and stuff like that. Put like the dark chocolate chip morsels, or, keeping it dark chocolate is the way you're going to go. Like milk chocolate is just, it's not going to be good for you. But the dark chocolate your body can handle, and it's actually full of antioxidants. So why not, right? But throw that into your Greek yogurt and make it yummy. If you really want to like make it a little more ice creamy, put it in the freezer, let it get a little cold and a little ice shavings in there, and then eat it up. It's so good. Hi, Daniel. Good luck at the doctor. I hope you get good results. Hi, buddy. Okay, so moving on.
Deficit because I'm eating the same food each and every single day. And actually, I ate this food in the past, so I knew that if I ate it again, that I was going to lose weight, especially in the exact amount in terms of quantity. Then the final thing I want you to do, this is up to you. You need to take your phone and download an app like Lose It or MyFitnessPal and track everything.
That's the one that I told you guys about. Simple is such a great. Here, let me get to his workout part.
Your muscles are going to use that as glycogen.
Simple is a great app, you guys. I keep talking about it. I'm going to put it in the chat. Simple. It's called Simple. And Forbes 60 is the discount code. Let me just go ahead and put that in here. So Simple is the app. Must have app. And discount code is Forbes 60. And that way you guys will be able to stay on track. Just go check it out. Even if you only get 1 week, which is like with the discount code is like $4.99 or something like that. It's a great gift. You want to gift it to someone? This is a great gift to gift to somebody. You can get a whole month, which is a whole month of everyday planning, which people are going to get real benefits from a whole month of intermittent fasting, being guided by their intermittent fasting, their water intake, and all of the things that revolve around their food and exercise and water in 1 month. That's $11.99. Great gift. Or 3-month plan is $29.99 with the discount code Forbes 60. Let me put that in here. So check it out. Just even look at it. You don't even have to get it. Just go look at it. It is really great. I'm telling you right now.
It's going to help you boost your testosterone. It's going to help you boost your overall metabolism and help you burn more calories. And in terms of losing your belly fat and getting in great shape, the more muscle mass you have, the less body fat percentage you have. So even now, I have a six-pack at a higher body fat percentage because I invested in resistance training. Now that you understand why it's so important, I've just touched on a sliver, but you can train as little as 3 times per week and as much as 6 times per week. And before I get into the complexities, I'm gonna give you a 3-day training plan. You're seeing it on screen right now. 4-day, 5-day, because I want you to win. So use any of those programs. If you're intermediate to a beginner, if you've been training for 5 years, this program will help you build muscle. So just use that, copy.
So you guys know I keep these videos on my page in podcasts. I'm sorry, in my playlist under podcast videos, podcast info videos. Go there and freeze frame this, guys. You a dude, you want to know the best plan. I'm not sure if he works well with women's exercises. It is different. Women can train like men. That's 100%. But also, we have a lot of extra goods inside of our bodies that we have to account for. So you don't want to do any damage to those things that allow us to A, make babies, B, feed those babies. So a lot of things are different for men and women when it comes to working out, but it doesn't mean that we can't do the same things. But a guy is going to build their body a little bit differently in the workout arena than a female may want to. So these look like he's just doing straight ab blasters, but you know, the majority of the females that I know aren't as strong in their upper arms to be able to dangle and hold their body like that while getting their workout in. So there are a lot of great workouts that can be done. I've posted many of my own that you can do. But the greatest thing that you can also do is planks. Never underestimate the power of a plank. The planks are so good. Like you could do a plank and hold a plank. You could do a plank with side knees and work those obliques. You can do a plank and do jumping jacks and do jumping jacks with your feet out while you're in a plank. So many great benefits just by a simple plank. Never to be underestimated. So let's just see what this guy has in store. But if you do want to go, you can go back to him and freeze frame on this video at another time. I'm not sure if you can rewind it real time.
It works. It'll get you to where you need.
So it looks like he showed several different ones right here at like 8.
Training plan, you're seeing it on screen right now. 4-day, 5-day, because I want you to win. So use any of those programs. If you're intermediate to a beginner, if you've been training for 5 years, this program will help you build muscle. So just use that, copy me. It works. It'll get you to where you need. When you start getting into pro status like me, then hire a coach, make them build you a plan to focus on your lagging muscle parts, and you're gonna be so happy for it. Your future self is gonna thank your past self for making that decision. Let's move on into the next point.
Step number 3 is formal cardio. This is the secret weapon. This is what we call the accelerant to being able to lose fat quicker. This is what we call our nitros in our car to go faster. So what I do exactly is the first target. With cardio, it's a cardiovascular exercise. My main target is to get my heart rate to 140 beats per minute. This is what we consider our zone 2 form of cardio. So that's your goal. Get your heart rate to 140 beats per minute. And this will tap mainly into fat stores instead of your glycogen, so you can burn fat quicker. Because again, we want to speed up fat loss. So this is exactly my routine. In week 1, I'll start 3 sessions of cardio for 20 minutes. Week 2, 4 sessions for 20 minutes. Week 3, 5 sessions, 20 minutes. And then I'll continuously increase the duration so I can burn more fat. But your diet needs to be in check. If you don't have your diet in check, this is a waste of time. So if you guys want me to give you a step-by-step play of my cardio routine on the treadmill that has allowed me to get this physique, comment down below. Dr. Mike, show us your full treadmill cardio routine and I'll make that happen. Let's move into step number 4.
If I had to make a bet between 2 people, one would run for 365 days and the second person would have to walk 365 days to lose belly fat, I'm going to vote for the person walking each and every single time just on the basis of consistency.
What?
But research has also shown that walking taps mainly into fat store compared to running. Because it's so high impact, it needs a quicker source of energy, which in this case is always going to be your source of glycogen. Now,
okay. Hold the phone, you guys. It said right here, point blank by this doctor who studies all of these. He says he studies 20,000 patients a month on their physical activity, and he's done so many studies on running and walking and the benefits of the two. Would you think that a person that goes running every day has more benefits physically than a person that just walks every day? Most people would say yes, right? But the answer is no. The answer is no, because your body is getting so much more wear and tear. It has so many other things it needs to do once you're done with that run. And the walk is so much more gentler, and it has the ability to just strictly go straight to the fat and not worry so much about the operation that your body needs to go through and then the healing process after it when you put yourself through hardcore running all the time. Is it good to get your heart rate up sometimes? Yes, like what he's saying, get it up to 140 beats. So, does that mean you need to go on these long 15, 20-minute runs? No, it just means getting your heart rate up, maybe get to a jog and then back to a walk. Get to a jog and then back to a walk. And that's manipulating that heart rate to get you in that fat burning stage. You only have to do it a couple times to get there, and then it will stay there. It will stay revved because it's gonna, now it's like, okay, we need to go up, so let me just stay here and I'm getting ready. I'm gonna get ready for that. I know it's coming, so I'm gonna get ready. So you only need to do 2 or 3 times of bringing your heart rate up and then back down, and you only need to stay there for 15, 20, 30 seconds and then bring it back down. It's not like you're there for a minute, 5 minutes. So it's really doable. It's super easy, and it's stuff that not a lot of people talk about. So I think it's very beneficial to learn what actually works by scientists and doctors. This man is a scientist major and a doctor. So he's got the best of both worlds. When I did a deep dive on him, I really liked the philosophy that he has and all of the knowledge and everything backed by science, and his knowledge as a doctor with the patients that he's tried things out on in the testing. So he's tested it, he's studied it, he's shown it, showcased it within his own body, tried these things out, and also he sees it, what works and what doesn't, with his patients. So you got to make sure the knowledge that you're getting on the internet is something that is tried and true. So many people can just be putting whatever out there, and this is important to do the research. So this man is saying you can simply tap into that belly fat by walking. And what is it about walking that is so powerful on that belly fat? It's the core muscles. Your core is what moves you along when you're walking. It's what pushes your body forward. You have to have your core engaged the entire time that you're walking. So it taps right into that space that you really want to get rid of.
In terms of calories burned per minute, running will always win. But in terms of consistency, the marathon, walking is always going to be your best bet. So this is what I recommend, and this is how I got here. 15,000 daily steps. I know that's high, and this video is about quickly losing belly fat. If you go 15,000 every day on average and more, your fat's gonna melt off. What I see so much with all of the clients that I've ever worked with is that their activity, their number of steps was so low. 5K, 3K. So if you go to 15, that fat's gonna have to go somewhere and it's gonna be burnt off. So I highly recommend, if there's one thing you do in 2025, just walk more. And you're gonna see your body fat percentage come down 5-10% just doing that alone. But again, remember, it's a game of consistency. So make sure you're doing 15,000 on average every day. And again, if you're at 5K right now, if you open the Health app or Samsung Health, then you see you're at 5K and you go to 10, voila, you'll probably start losing more fat. But if you go to 15K, more is always better. Just so you guys can see, I practice.
So here's what I like to do. It's like a little challenge with myself. I will a lot of times I'm only around in the 10,000 range, but I have my walking pad. It's too cold sometimes to go out, and I don't like breathing that cold air in. So when I'm doing my posts, or I'm checking my video, or checking my messages, or I'm preparing for the next day, or simply just want to catch up on some of these info vids that I share with you guys, I'll get on my walking pad and I do it all from there, because I'd rather be moving my body while I'm doing my work if I can, rather than just staying stagnant. That's why I'm really a big advocate of the walking pad, because you can put it in your home. It's easy to slide under a bed or some furniture. You can even lean it up against the wall or put it in a closet. Like, it's so easy. I literally carried mine up and down the stairs. Like, it's so quick and easy to move, to set up, and it's so beneficial because if you're in a spot, maybe it's rainy, maybe you live in an area that rains a lot, you know, things like that. You don't want to get a gym membership. Maybe that's just an extra expense that you can't afford. Get a walking pad. There's so many things that you can do nowadays while you're walking. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your iPad. You can set up your desk near your computer. You can put the walking pad anywhere that is accessible, and I highly recommend it because it will help you get your steps in. I will put the walking pad link in the chat so you guys can see that, the one I use, and I love it. So let's continue on. That's how you're going to get your steps in. That's how you're going to collect those extra steps.
That's what I preach. It's 4:38 p.m. right now, and I'm at 12,000 steps. So when I hit 15, that's when my circle closes. And in case you guys wanted to know what this app is, it's pedometer plus plus, and I added the widget. I'm in Dubai right now. I'm walking on the beach, obviously filming this video. And the way everyone is looking at me and smiling at me is low-key creepy. KK's smiling now because he sees it too. So just this.
Okay, let me go. Let's go.
Why would you keep this factory?
Do not wait until 2024 to start these health hacks. Hey everyone, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen.
Let's skip it forward. Blah, 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 blah. What we're talking about right here. Okay.
Let's get into it. Tip number 1, have protein at every meal and most snacks. Protein is king in the satiety hierarchy, which is why it's at the top of my HCC triangle. We know how important maintaining lean muscle mass is for metabolism, weight management, and longevity as we age. And as I discussed in my macros video right here, we also know that focusing on protein is really important when we're in a calorie deficit. Research suggests that people spontaneously consumed 400 calories less when their protein intake went from 15 to 30% of calories. Because we can only utilize about 0.3 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per meal or snack for muscle protein synthesis, one of the most important habits that you can get into today is to prioritize protein at every meal, ideally around 20 to 35 grams per sitting. Adding protein helps to provide longer lasting stable satiety, energy, and blood sugar levels, and increases the chances of weight loss success without scarcity or restriction.
So true.
Tip 2, implement a no phones at mealtime rule. You guys know I don't normally like rules, but
This is what I do in my household anyway. There's no phones at the table. There's no phones at the restaurant table. There's no phones when we're all sitting down at any point in time to spend time together, because we're trying to spend time together, right? So no phones is a great rule regardless.
this is actually one that I can get behind. And I know it's a hard rule to follow because I literally fail at this 50% of the time, but 50% success rate is like a huge win to me.
They've done studies, 60%.
Eating while on your phone increases caloric consumption by about 15%, largely because we aren't even registering emotionally while we ate. We're stripping food of its sensual satisfaction and also interfering with the social benefit of a family meal. So no phones at all at the dinner table. They're either off or away charging in another room where we're not so tempted by the constant scrolling and notifications. Tip 3, bulk up and stretch refined carbs with fiber-rich veg. Notice I said bulk up, not cut down, even though the result is usually, in fact, cutting down. So, I've got an additive approach to nutrition, which is why I like to stretch refined carbs by adding them into a fiber-rich veg. So that may mean adding some zucchini ribbons to your pasta or adding some finely diced veg to your rice. Not only does this add another layer of flavor and texture, but it turns a low fiber, lower nutrient meal into one that is far more satiating. And even if you don't change the portion of rice that you put on your plate at all, all, there's a good chance you may not need as much of it because the added fiber from the veggies adds volume and promotes satiety, which is important for weight management. And this is another really key reason why my hunger crushing combo works. Tip 4, choose fats with purpose. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, you guys know that our hunger crushing combo combines protein, which we talked about, fiber, which we talked about, and healthy fats. And I will never ever suggest that you shouldn't use oils for cooking or in salad dressing. You should. These make naturally nourishing foods a lot more delicious. But wherever it makes sense, I want you to choose whole food fat sources that have like dual HCC citizenship. So that have fat and fiber or fat and protein. Avocado is a really great example because it's got 22 grams of satiating fats, 3 grams of protein, and has a whopping 10 grams of fiber each, making it much more satiating than an equivalent amount of fat in oil. Likewise, whole peanuts have...
What did she just say? Hold on.
Has a whopping 10 grams of fiber each, making it much more satiating than an equivalent amount of fat in oil. Likewise, whole peanuts have 14 grams of fats, 7.5 grams of protein, and 2.5 grams of fiber. So these foods offer more volume, flavor, and hunger crushing compounds than straight up oils or fats. So like you could try using avocado as a sandwich spread or adding nuts or nut butter as the base for salad dressings and sauces. Tip 5, drink a big glass of water the moment you get up and another one as your coffee is brewed. I have discussed this coffee thing ad nauseum. If you want to drink your coffee on an empty stomach, there's likely no real harm in doing so, assuming it doesn't upset your tummy or cause you raging anxiety. But you've just gone 8 or more hours without any hydration or nutrition. So you want to capitalize on that morning thirst by working water into your coffee ritual. Agree. The moment you wake up, before you check your phone, drink a full glass of water. And as your coffee is brewing or you're making your tea or whatever your ritual,
I do this exactly. So I wake up and I go over to the fridge where our water comes out, the little water spout thing, and I drink. Just grab a quick like 8-ounce, 12-ounce glass. It's probably 12 ounces. 12-ounce glass and fill it up with just the water, no ice. It's so much harder to just chug the water down when there's ice. Sometimes if I'm feeling like I need a little extra, I will put my apple cider vinegar in there, but sometimes it'll mess my stomach up because it's on an empty stomach. So I'll wait till after I have my coffee and then I'll do an apple cider vinegar just to kind of balance me back out. But definitely a glass of water right when you wake up is so beneficial because your organs are thirsty and you need to just get it cracking and it will help you curb that hunger. Same thing with the apple cider vinegar. Putting a little bit in there will help you curb that hunger. So this could be something that could change your whole dynamic throughout your day if you can skip that first meal, unless you're doing your 2 meals in the daytime and you're not having dinner. So if you want to be done eating by like 4:30 and then just fasting for the rest of the time because you go to bed early because you have an early start, if you shift it up, perfect. That's a perfect time to do it. Eating in the daylight hours, especially in the winter time when the sun goes down quicker and your body will store less fat if you're not eating when it's nighttime because of that circadian rhythm that we've spoken about so much. So I do agree with this whole water thing.
Is drink another one.
Another one. Another one.
This is really, really important for regularity, bloating, weight management, energy metabolism, cognitive performance, and joint mobility. Tip 6, use parental lock functions to limit your phone use before bed. Yes, I'm suggesting that some of us need to parent ourselves a little to limit our phone use before bed, but let me tell you why. We know that screens before bed significantly interfere with our circadian rhythms and sleep, and poor sleep impacts our appetite, food cravings, blood sugars, weight gain, cognition and attention, immunity defenses, and much more. There are actual apps for parental safeguards and locks that you can put into play to lock you out of social media before or after a certain time in the day. And if you're the type to stay up late scrolling, resulting in really poor sleep, it might be time to use them. Keeping up with the Kardashians is nowhere near as important as restorative sleep and your resulting health.
Liar!
Tip 7, take one call or virtual meeting every day while walking. Exercise doesn't have to be intentional or sweaty for it to count. In fact, you're actually less likely to compensate by rewarding yourself with more food when movement is framed as fun or leisurely than it is as exercise. So if you have to listen in on like a boring Zoom conference call, turn the camera off, pop your earbuds in, and take it while meandering around through like a nearby residential area. If you're waiting on hold with like an airline or bank, do it in the great outdoors. Yes, the elevator music might kill you inside, but if you do survive, you're gonna feel great thanks to the combination of fresh air and gentle movement. This is actually a bonus tip for my ADHDers, but you actually might find that you can concentrate much better at what's being said while simultaneously moving your body. And the best part is, this isn't eating into your busy day. Tip 8, buy a different fruit and veg than you did the week before. As you guys know, I am big on the importance of variety because a varied diet is the most likely diet to meet all of your nutrient needs. Our gut bacteria also thrives on diet diversity. But food right now is expensive, especially fresh fruits and veg. So most of us can't afford to eat like 3 different fruits and 3 different vegetables each day at every meal of the week. So make an intentional point to switch up which varieties you buy from week to week. If this week it's apples and broccoli,
I just go off of what is on sale, honestly. Like, if it's not on sale, then I'm going to go with something else. So that's an easy way to navigate switching up your vegetables and fruits, but also to know what is important to not eat and what is important to eat to keep that belly fat in check. That is something we're going to get into later on in this podcast. So make sure you do stay tuned for that. But check out what's on sale. I mean, you guys, it's really simple. Just and knowing what to eat and what not to eat is also going to be very beneficial when it comes to that. So this is
make next week kiwis and cauliflower. If this week you're making salads with spinach, recipe ruts, reducing the risk of you like
she has like a retainer in or what, but I feel like she's spitting on me
over time. And speaking of variety, plan 3 mindless breakfasts to rotate with different variations.
Unless you are not doing breakfast like that and you're doing intermittent fasting, then, but yeah.
And results in fewer calories consumed at your next meal. So I suggest having 3 simple protein-rich breakfast concepts that you always have the ingredients for, and you always have like the time and energy to pull off, and then just adding in slight variations with different toppings. So my 3 are protein oatmeal.
And I can show you how you can start to heal yourself without money, without time.
We can end chronic disease, we can get people immune strong, we can get people metabolically fit for the first time.
This is our door out of chronic disease.
Meet Dr. Mindy Pelz, a top nutrition and functional health expert and a best-selling author. She is a recognized leader in the alternative health field and a pioneer in the fasting movement. In this video, we distill the essence of her teachings and highlight the top 6 foods she consumes to promote effective autophagy, seamlessly fitting within her fasting regimen.
Nobody cures you. You cure yourself. And so you have to start to look at the human body as this self-healing organism that's always figuring out how to keep you alive.
Let's first understand what autophagy is.
Autophagy is where the cells realize that there's no nutrients. It's nutrients and blood sugar, glucose, coming into the cell. It's like an internal mechanism where the cell goes, nothing's coming in. Okay. We got to make sure, A, that we're a better version of ourselves. So it'll push out viruses, it'll push out bacteria out of the cell. The other thing that it does is it'll say, hey, you know what? This cell's going rogue. This cell's becoming a cancer cell. This is a senescent zombie cell that's going to start to age you quickly. They're a weak member of the team. In this fasted state where no glucose is coming in, no nutrients are coming in, you're a liability and we need to get rid of you. And so it gets rid of those cells.
You hear that? Making sure if I could do a flashing on the screen, like wake up alert, pay attention to this part. What she's saying is when you're in autophagy, which happens at the 32-hour or 24-hour to 36-hour mark, when your body starts to make these big changes because nothing's coming in. So right at that time when autophagy starts, your body's like, okay, wait a second, what's happening? There's no food coming in, and now it starts to observe all the cells around in it and what cells are needed and what cells are toxic and need to go. And those cells that are toxic and need to go, the healthy cells that need to stay, that are thriving and they are meant to be and belong in the environment, those cells will eat the other cells, the bad toxic cells, and consume them as energy and food and allow themselves to get stronger and like Fort Knox lockdown, that they will not be affected by any infection or any of the bad stuff that comes in. Like she called it a zombie cell. Once that zombie cell, the other good thriving cells noticed the zombie cells, or the cells that are causing you to look aged, giving you crepey skin, giving you cancer, giving you all these like lymph node problems, issues inside of your body. These are the cells it wants to attack now. These are the cells that it's saying, whoa, hold on, you don't belong here. There's no food coming in. I need to survive. I'm the good cell. I'm going to take over. Pretty powerful stuff. I'm going to take it back just like 30 seconds so you can hear about this autophagy. It is quite enamoring. And then I think she gets into these foods.
But this cell's going rogue. This cell's becoming a cancer cell. This is a senescent zombie cell that's going to start to age you quickly. They're a weak member of the team. In this fasted state where no glucose is coming in, no nutrients are coming in, you're a liability and we need to get rid of you. And so it gets rid of those cells.
Autophagy is a natural cellular process in which cells degrade and recycle their own components. The term autophagy comes from the Greek words auto, meaning self, and phage, meaning eating. Essentially, autophagy is the body's way of cleaning out damaged cells in order to regenerate newer, healthier cells. So for autophagy to take place, the body needs to be in a fasted state. Then what happens in a fasted state?
What is a fasted state? And it's really when that blood sugar comes down enough that it triggers the body to switch. 8 hours, you start to make the switch. By about 12 hours, your body's now starting to make a good dose of ketones. The brain is excited, so you're getting that mental clarity. Ketones turn off the hunger hormone. So you also, when you switch over, there's going to be a point in which you're not hungry. And that all happens at about 12 hours. At 13 hours, we start to see that growth hormone goes up, which is what slows down the aging process, helps us burn fat. We also see in men, we see testosterone start to go up. 1,300% increase in testosterone with just a 15-hour time period. We see inflammation, CRP goes down, which is an inflammatory blood marker, will start to go down. In fact, one of the greatest studies ever done on women was they took a group of women after they had had traditional breast cancer treatment, and they had them just fast 13 hours every single day. And they noticed that there was a 64% less reoccurrence of breast cancer in the group that all they did is fast, was 13 hours a day. They didn't even change their food. They just fasted. So check this out. Research shows at 15 hours, we see growth hormone go up. Okay, growth hormone is the hormone that keeps you young and helps you burn fat. But if you stay in that fasted window, you keep going 17 hours, your brilliant body turns within and it goes, wait a second. No food's coming in. We better get stronger. 17 hours, we stimulate autophagy. The cells start to repair themselves and old aging cells you get rid of. 24 hours, your whole gut resets and you get intestinal stem cells that come in and repair the whole inner lining of the gut. 36 hours, your body goes and finds that stubborn fat specifically around the belly and it starts to burn that for energy. 48 hours with no food coming in, now all of a sudden you're getting new dopamine receptor sites. Okay, why are you getting that? Because your brain has got to get motivated to go find food. So you reboot the whole dopamine system, and then 72 hours, the whole immune system reboots itself and recycles itself. That's without a drug. That's without a supplement. That's why I'm like, we have to get this out to the world. This is our door out of chronic disease.
Then should I go and fast for 72 hours all the time? The answer is no.
The 3-day water fast twice a year is a great time to just get rid of senescent cells that are aging you quickly, or cells that are going to go rogue and become tumors. Get rid of those. The 48-hour fast once a quarter if you have a mental health challenge, if you are depressed and anxious and you're looking for a variety of tools to help you and boost your moods, then do 48-hour fast once a quarter. 36-hour fast, that's really there for the person who's just so frustrated and cannot lose weight. So if you're really struggling with weight loss, throw a once a month, throw a 36-hour fast at it. Then the 24 hours and below, I have people vary those in a weekly, depending on where they are in their cycle. But one 24-hour fast a week can be really miraculous. Those are the 1 meal a day people. Do it once a week. Don't do it every day. And then most people are doing either a combination of something between 12 hours and 17 hours on a regular basis, except the week before their cycle.
Yeah, I probably do like an 18-hour. So I'll do an 18-hour fast normally. But if I put weight on, if I've fallen off the wagon, which I do, which I have done in the past, which I'm trying to get better at. I did put the weight on that one time to show you guys how easy the plan is. It's a simple plan, but it's not that easy if you're it's hard to it's hard to get your mind around in the beginning. But if you just stick to the simple thing of just eating in a little window, you guys know I can talk about it till my lips fall off. You're going to lose the weight. You don't even have to mess with your food. You can still eat the same food you're eating. You're just shrinking your window. Anyway, I normally do an 18-hour fast. That's usually where my sweet spot is. I only need like maybe I'll do like 4 to 6 hour window each day. Sometimes I'm just comfortable doing 1 meal a day, but I will do 2 to 3 day fasts probably once a month for sure, because it's just so healthy for you. Why not? Like if I'm getting all of those amazing benefits, I feel like after a month, I want to replenish, and it resets your gut, your biodome, your immune system, your metabolism, your skin, your hair, your nails, the way that you look on the outside, and all the way coming from the inside. So when I'm telling you guys on this channel, helping you live your best life from the inside out, it is 1,000,000% exactly what's happening. It's starting from your inside, cleaning up your gut, cleaning up your metabolism, your immune system, and all of the things, all of those bad cells that are making you look old and crepey and no energy and lack of focus and foggy and all of it, irritable, moody, all the things, all stems around the amount of hours that you're eating. So, tighten it up, everybody. Let's get going. You need to live your best life from the inside out, and I'm trying to tell you how to do it. And I'm giving you all the experts who have all the knowledge and the background and the science and the doctors' studies for decades and decades, and some of them centuries, to showcase. I really think that you would benefit from it, Bo. I think so. I think you're going to love it. You're going to be so shocked, honestly, about how quickly your body transforms and manifests all of these things that you've never felt before naturally. Just natural. No outside additives included. Your body just does these miraculous, beautiful things naturally. And there are people that go a whole lifetime and die and never have experienced that as an American, because we are overfed, overeat from the jump out the gate, So I feel like once you allow yourself to get there, I've never had one client of mine ever, 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 out of hundreds of clients, never have I ever had anyone tell me once they got on their fasting journey, that was a waste of time. I wish I would have never done that. It is the absolute opposite. It is always the same, which is, wow, I wish I would have known that years ago, because now I feel like I've got a new lease on life. Who doesn't want to feel that for free? Not only for free, but for freaking goodness sake, you're not eating as much. So you're saving money, getting healthier, getting more energy. It's really, hello. It's like a wake up. Come on. Just got to give it a go. You never know until you give it a go. My motto. Did not even know that last part was going to rhyme.
When fasting, it's crucial to be mindful of your food choices. Here are the top 6 foods that Dr. Mindy frequently consumes to maximize the benefits of fasting. First, avocado, especially great for breakfast.
I love breaking a fast with fat. Why would you break a fast with fat? The reason is it kills the hunger hormone. So it'll shut off the hunger hormone. You say, okay, I'm going to eat fat first, and then I'm going to wait an hour before I eat anything else. If you do that little trick, you're going to find within an hour you're not going to want to eat what you thought you might want to eat. That immediate desire to boomerang will go away. I often break my fast with an avocado. Super easy, just cut it in half, eat it.
A more interesting way Dr. Mindy enjoys avocado is eating with probiotic foods.
I do a lot of sauerkrauts, kimchis. I'll take an avocado and put kimchi and sauerkraut on top, and I combine that probiotic rich with the fat. That's my most common way I break a fast. But now you're replenishing these good bacteria. You're feeding these good bacteria first that are going to help you lose weight.
Next food is cacao.
Cacao,
Cacao.
which is chocolate. The Mars company actually went in and did research on what chocolate does for autophagy. Now, that doesn't mean you go out and eat a Mars bar. I would prefer that you would go out.
Okay, let me just tell you a little life hack with this here chocolate. If you like chocolate and peanut butter together, but don't use the peanut butter because the peanut butter is not great for you, almond butter, you take the cacao, right? You take a little monk fruit or stevia and you put it in with your cacao, and which is pretty much like cocoa powder, and you put it in with your almond butter and mix it up. Put some sliced bananas in there. Oh my gosh, talk about heaven. So good. They even have egg white wraps that you smear the chocolate, the cacao with the almond butter and the bananas, and you spread it all out and then roll it all up. And then you can even like press it in the pan with a little butter and like kind of crisp it on each. I'll tell you right now. Talk about tasty. It's like a chocolate bananas Foster. I don't know if you've ever had that before, but it is delightful. It is a really great way to get your protein, get some potassium. You got the good healthy fats in there. It's really good. I'm telling you right now, you should give that a whirl. 100%.
After clean cacao sources. So, couple different things that you can look for when you're buying chocolate. You can look for the word cacao, and the number 1 ingredient is cacao. So, number 1. Number 2 is cacao butter.
Cacao.
But when you do chocolate, you want to really go after the really extremely dark. So this is the darker, the more chocolate in there, the more cacao. The study done on cacao, just
the one I use is like a 70% cacao, and it is not good, but it's the healthiest. And I add the monk fruit or the stevia in there, or even honey. I'll put honey, just raw honey in there. You have to make sure you're eating real honey, you guys. You got to look on the back. You have to always look on the back. You cannot trust the label. You got to flip it around and see the ingredients, because the labels can be misleading and that is not going to be helpful to you. You have to look on the back. But if you put some monk fruit or stevia or raw honey or cane sugar even in the cacao and mix it all up, then it tastes much better for sure. But it tastes good if you're trying to turn your like Greek yogurt into chocolatey, or you want to put your peanut butter or your almond butter or your cashew butter into a chocolatey oh my gosh, so good. That and maybe like a little bit of agave syrup. I cannot. It's so yummy. It's so delicious.
For you guys that are research hounds, was done through the Journal of Agricultural Food Chemistry in 2009. And it was done on liver cells. And so they found that when they gave cacao to these liver cells, that it stimulated autophagy.
Next is coffee.
Coffee.
Wow.
They did a study out of Cell Cycle in 2014, and they found that 1 to 4 hours after you drank coffee, they noticed an increase in autophagy in the liver, in muscle tissue, and in your heart, in heart tissue.
Wow.
Here are my recommendations for coffee. They need to be organic. So we know pesticides is going to create more cell death. It's going to create more toxins in cells. The other big issue we have with coffee is that it can often have a lot of mold. So you want to make sure it's organic and you want to make sure it's mold free. Otherwise, you're trying to stimulate autophagy.
You have to look at it. There are several brands. I don't know what area of the world you live in, but there are so many brands out there that are filled with pesticides. Like they don't go through all the normal things. So the one I use is really great. They do all the inspections. They hit all the check marks. They make sure that their beans, it is a little bit more expensive, but it is so well worth it. So you're not putting all that trash right into your gut, into your bloodstream. It's the thing that will tear you down inside and cause all the havoc that you're trying to fight against. So you have to just make sure and do your research. Don't even listen to what I'm saying. Do your research and look for the companies that have no pesticides and the least amount of mold or no mold, no pesticide coffee companies. And it'll show you. And then do another search. And then do another search and make sure check all the searches, see which ones come up constantly in the top 5. Those are the ones you want to choose from. Make sure you're looking at the ones that go coming up constantly. Don't just do one search. Do several, because some of these companies might be paying off, to be in the top list. But if you do several and you see a common thread, and make sure you're paying attention to where you're getting the information from, and then you can find the root of it. But you will start to see the same companies that are make sure that they abide by all the testing and don't have the pesticides and they don't have the mold on them, which is crazy to even think that that's a thing.
But you're adding toxins in doesn't really make sense to me.
For coffee lovers, you may have a question whether you can enjoy coffee during the fasting period.
Can I have my coffee in my fasting window? And I would say, of the millions of people we've watched fast, for most people, coffee is going to work in your fasting window, black coffee. So now in the book and on my YouTube channel, I've really emphasized you should do a blood sugar test to make sure that it does work for you. And we can talk about that in a moment. But with coffee, if it's black, it's going to be fine in your fasting window. If you add MCT oil, even better, because it'll start to move you over into this fat-burning ketogenic system quicker. Once you start adding cream, you're going to have to really do the blood sugar test and see if cream works for you.
Another drink which is great for boosting autophagy is green tea.
Hopefully you know by now green tea is considered a health food. It's a great alternative if you don't want to get too much stimulation from coffee. Nutrient Journal 2019 did a study on the neuroprotective effects of green tea. They also found that it stimulates autophagy in any cell that it was exposed to. It's one of those universal stimulators of autophagy. So super cool. And then bergamot tea was actually done on both a mice study and a human study. And they found that bergamot oil, so like an essential oil, created autophagy in human neuroblastomas.
Wow.
Cancer again. So this is nerve tissue. These are tumors in cancer.
Bergamot.
So, and that was done in 2014.
Now let's talk about olive oil, a kitchen staple.
Olive oil. You want to make sure that it's organic. You want to make sure that it's never rancid, so you want to smell it. Like, it shouldn't live in your countertop. It shouldn't live in your cupboards for a long time. If it goes rancid, it's not going to stimulate autophagy. It'll actually create cellular inflammation. The other thing you don't want to do with olive oil is heat it up. So if you heat it up and put it on a pan and it starts to smoke, you've now turned it into an inflammatory fat. The research on olive oil is also really cool in the sense that they're finding that. The other thing you don't want to do with olive oil is heat it up. So if you heat it up and put it on a pan and it starts to smoke, you've now turned it into an inflammatory fat. The research on olive oil is also really cool in the sense that they're finding that it has an effect on the beta amyloid and tau proteins that are associated with Alzheimer's. They also have been doing studies on olive oil with cancer. So it was done on metastatic osteosarcoma, but try to use as much olive oil as possible. I would even say you could take a scoop of it and have a tablespoon a day if you're looking, especially you could even do that within your fasting window.
The final top foods on the list to boost autophagy is curcumin.
Curcumin is that really magical component of turmeric. There's also a lot of different ways that you can get curcumin into your diet. You can sprinkle it on your food. So we always buy our spices organic, so you can sprinkle it on your food. We like to actually get the turmeric root at our local Whole Foods, and we like to juice it and put it in a juicer and just drink it with a green juice. It's a little woody tasting, but it can be, and you can also cut it up and put it into stir fries as well, but that is a wonderful way to get a big dose of curcumin. The research done on turmeric is showing that it increases autophagy in pancreatic cells. They also did a study in 2019 on tick-borne disease and found that curcumin inhibited the proliferation of the disease by stimulating apoptosis, which is cell death, and by stimulating autophagy in other cells, which cleans the cell up. If you put turmeric with black pepper, it goes into the cell at a deeper level.
Now on to the conclusion from Dr. Mindy Pelz.
You need to set up
So mixing turmeric with black pepper is also, I put turmeric on my eggs. It's delicious. And I mix it with like some shredded Swiss or feta or goat cheese. And I put my eggs with my turmeric and I put my flax seed on there with a little olive oil or either avocado oil. I have not put the bergamot, which I might just add in there just for fun, just to throw it all down the tank at once. Just getting it all down there.
Long-term game to stimulate autophagy. So if you're not putting any effort into stimulating autophagy, your cells are building up with toxins.
Hello, health champions. Today we're going to talk about how to lose belly fat. How do we burn that fat as fast as possible? And I don't know about you, but it drives me absolutely crazy with all of the bad and useless information out there. Is it about carb, fat, or protein? Do we eat a little? Do we eat a lot? And can we do crunches to target belly fat or hip fat or thigh fat? No, you can't do that. It doesn't work like that. And maybe the worst, all these videos that say take a tablespoon of this or a pinch of that and all your problems will go away. Now, what happens when people get bad information and conflicting information is they get confused and they don't stick with it. They don't stay the course, or even worse, they do nothing at all. But after watching this video, you will know for sure how certain things work, and you will know enough that you can take some action and stick with it and get the results you want. A really good question to start with is, why would the body burn fat? Or the reverse maybe for some. Why would the body not burn fat? Why is the body refusing to burn fat? Why am I on this plateau all the time? And one reason could be that the body doesn't need to burn fat. And we're talking about the body fat, the fat that is stored on the body as a reserve. And if you never need to tap into the reserves, then obviously you're not going to burn it if there's always more fuel being supplied than what you're using up. Another reason could be that there are other types of fuel, or the timing of the fuel, that something else needs to be burned first before we get to the body fat. So we have to understand that in the order of things, the dietary carbohydrates that we eat have to burn first. The body has to use that first. And then it gets to dietary fats, and then it gets to the body fat. So what we need to do is to create a state in the body where, first of all, there's a need for energy. And secondly, where that need for energy doesn't result in an increased appetite. If we use more energy and then we just compensate by eating more, then it's a zero-sum game. And also, of course, we want to give the body a reason. At the cellular level, we need to give the body a reason to use up that body fat. And of course, it also needs to be sustainable. It needs to be something that you can do for the rest of your life. And we want to put health first. We want to do this to enhance health, not at the expense of health. And when we say extremely fast, that's a relative term. And why am I saying that? Because if you're on a bicycle, you don't want to compare yourself to a Formula One race car. So do this as fast as possible for you. And what that means is you want to start understanding the different mechanisms and factors that enhance fat burning and what stops fat burning. And then once you understand them, now you implement them and you do all of them at once, at the same time, for a period of time. Because if you do one thing and it gets a little bit of results, then if you add another thing, now it's like compound interest. How can we affect the need for energy? Well, first of all, we have our basal metabolic rate, and that's how much energy the body uses up when you do nothing. When you're sitting around, when you're sleeping, your organs are always doing some work. Your heart, your liver, your kidneys, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and they're using up some energy in doing that. And then there are some hormones, insulin and human growth hormone, that we'll talk a little bit more about, that also affect this basal metabolic rate. And then above that baseline, we add the energy required for movement. So anytime that you move and do something physical, now you're using up a little bit more energy than the basal rate. And now you have basic movement, which is just going about your daily life, getting from the couch to the fridge, from the bed to the bathroom, from the car over to work, and so forth. And then you add in exercise. And that's something that you do on purpose to increase your circulation and your movement. One problem a lot of people run into when they exercise more is that they eat more. And one underlying factor here that we have to control is insulin resistance. Because if you have chronically high levels of insulin, meaning insulin stays high even when you're not eating, then that high level of insulin blocks fat burning. It prevents you from getting to the fat you have stored. And if you can't get to it, then you get hungry. So the whole idea of using more energy and burning fat is that we can get to the body fat stores, but with high insulin, we can't. Another factor we have to control is stress. Because when stress is high, that's your perception of the world telling your body that there's something fearful, there's something dangerous out there, and I need to be prepared in case that thing attacks me. And if it attacks me, I might have to run really, really fast, and if I have to run fast, I need emergency fuel, which is glucose. You always have a baseline of fat that you're burning, but the more stress you have, the more you're going to shift into glucose to do that. And then you're going to release cortisol.
That was a really great description that I have not heard before. So the body going through its natural stage of saying, hey, you're stressed out. That means I should be worried. Something bad is going to happen. I need to be prepared. I need to be alert. I'm going to exert all this extra energy and create all of this extra glucose so I can be prepared for this thing that you're getting anxiety about. So it's really interesting that the breakdown of that of how your body is so smart. It's your mind is creating the issue by having anxiety and having those issues within your mind is creating the issues within your body, because now you're telling your body, oh gosh, it's, alarming. I need to be alert. I need to be ready for action. So your body just starts to create itself without adding any extra glucose. So now if you're eating glucose already, sugary snacks or foods, and then you're eating some carbs, now you got all this glucose coming in, and you stay in a high stress space in your mind. Now your body's already making all this glucose, and then you're adding more glucose in there. So your glucose resistant, your insulin resistance is going to be so astronomical that it might take you weeks before you even start to see any type of movement on your health, because you just got to get that insulin resistance down. You got to get your glucose in check, because you just stay at a high stress rate and you're eating all of the glucose, and then your body's making all the glucose. So you're just like a whole glucose factory, and your body just can't get a break. So I suggest doing a little more yoga, doing a little more walking, getting some fresh air, that vitamin D. If it's too cold where you are, then do something active inside while you're doing your favorite thing. Maybe you're watching your show, maybe you're scrolling through some funny videos, whatever it is, you just got to keep your feet moving, right foot, left foot. Get those steps in, get those endorphins moving, and then maybe you'll start to feel like, okay, I'm so proud of myself. I walked for 45 minutes today. So now maybe I'll try and go for an hour, or maybe I'll come back at it a little bit later in the day and I'll walk a little bit more. I mean, if it's nice out where you are, you should definitely be walking outside. It is so much nicer. You get to take it all in. You get some more vitamin D. It's just a nicer experience all the way around. I would definitely go that route. But we did have a little challenge that what we learned yesterday was about the monks in a century-old thing for putting salt in your shoes. And I did try this out, but I'm a pretty positive and mellow toned personality. Not mellow toned, because I am definitely a vibrant personality, but I don't really range up and down that much. I'm pretty consistent with my moods. So I can't really tell. I'm not a great tester of something that's going to alter your mood in a positive way, because my mind is already there. So, I don't know. That's something that these monks are saying is definitely how you can keep your mood more balanced and in check, by having that sea salt or Himalayan salt or any kind of salt against the soles of your feet during the day to keep you balanced and keep the negative energy out. So if you are someone that's in that high stress space, and you are someone who does get all riled up in their mind and has a lot of anxiety, maybe give it a go. You never know till you give it a go, right? So there's little practices, little tricks that you could do. Some people burn incense, like it gives them a sense of calm and warmth. Some people wear incense, like from a roller ball, just put it right here under your right between your collarbones, so you can absorb it and smell it through the day. Maybe a little frankincense might be good. Bergamot is what we learned about today. But ways to keep you more calm, and especially if you are on this new health journey, this new weight loss journey, if this is something is adding to your issue, don't you want to get it in check? That's something I feel like you should want to get into check. Is this, this thing that's creating more of an issue, which is your anxiety, your anger, your frustration, your mental capacity is creating havoc in there and making you gain weight. So if it comes down to something as simple as that, look at ways that make you feel a little more zen. Maybe having that walk, maybe doing some high intensity interval training for like 5 minutes, and then just getting it all out, letting your body release that dopamine, that good feeling, and bringing your stress levels back down. Doesn't take long to get there. You just got to get your heart rate up. Heart rate up, bring it back down, heart rate up. Tabata is what I'm always talking about. Tabata is 4 minutes. It's 20-second rounds with 10-second rest. 8 rounds, 20-second push, 10-second rest, 4 minutes total. Get that heart rate up, do a Tabata routine, and balance out your levels, balance out your mood, and keep that stress in check, because if you don't, you're just adding more weight and more problems. Don't do that. When you can just invest 4 minutes, go in the hall, go in the stairwell, go in the bathroom, even if you need to get just a high knees up in the bathroom. I don't know. Get outside, go out to the parking lot. Maybe you forgot something in your car. Go out there and do a quick 4-minute routine and get back in there. And then you're going to be calmer. Your mood's going to be more balanced. You're going to be releasing that dopamine. So you're going to be feeling good. Your stress level is going to go down and you're going to be able to take on more. And guess what? You're tightening up those muscles, strengthening those bones, getting your metabolism revved. You're going to be burning fat, shaping your body up. So many benefits. 4 minutes. You got this. You can do that.
Cortisol, which is a stress hormone, which also drives more insulin. And a third big factor is carb dependence. If you're dependent on carbohydrate, if you have trained your body to always receive a fresh, big, full supply of carbohydrate, your body is always going to burn that first, and it will never get around to burning that fat. So the combination of all these 3 factors makes it very difficult to control your appetite. Willpower is just not going to be enough in the long run. And then we need to give the body a reason at the cellular level to use up, to burn through some fat. And we have to ask that question. Why would the body do that? Or why wouldn't it? If we assume the body is supremely intelligent, which it is, then it's going to need a reason. There's a reason for everything it does. I mean, you wouldn't, for example, go and mow your lawn today if you already finished it yesterday. I mean, nobody would do that. Well, actually, my neighbor tends to do that anyway, but you know what I mean. That in the body, everything happens for a reason. So, dietary carbohydrates have to be burned first. Carbs turn into blood sugar, and really high blood sugar can put you into a coma. The brain can't function with high or low levels of blood sugar. So they have to be processed through first. And some of it can be put into glycogen storage, but the body can't store a whole lot. So it's going to try to burn through both carbs and glycogen first. And then it's going to start in on the dietary fat, the stuff that you ate earlier today or late yesterday that's still floating around. And only after most of that is gone and processed through is it going to get to body fat.
That's
and also we want to understand that this is not.
It's so crazy how your body works. I mean, especially, I know so many clients that have been like, I've been eating a diet, I don't like that word, but I've been eating a diet, like salads and this whole thing, and then they'll smother their salad in like ranch or Caesar dressing or some kind of thing that is spiking their insulin all the way up, so far up. Like, you could have just had like a burger and french fries and a shake with what you just put all over your salad. So just because you're eating a salad doesn't mean that you're in a dietary state. You have to be mindful of what you're putting on that salad. Also, if you're eating a salad here, a couple snacks, and then you're having another salad and maybe a few more snacks, and your window of eating is like 10, 15 hours, you're still not giving your body enough time to process it before you're starting that all over again. So it's just like piled up. It's like a hoarder's house in there, and it's just piled up too high, and there's not enough time. You're giving it no time. So you can still eat all of those things, but you really don't need to eat that many times throughout the day. Just wrap it all up into a short little session. Do you like an 8-hour window? 8 hours is a lot of time from the time you put the food in your mouth to the time you're done eating. So just wrap it up with a little bow, make it a little smaller, shorter, tighter of a window, and you're going to start seeing those pounds fall off. It's just how it goes. Let's go into, let me see what else. This guy, let's see, the simple way to make your body kill belly fat.
If you want to
wanted you to
lose body fat, you actually need to extend the period of time that you're not eating. In other words, extend your fasting period and get rid of all the snacks in order for you to have enough time that your insulin is low. When insulin is low, it's going to allow fat burning, which is going to allow you to pull those calories back out.
You're cited as being really the founder of modern intermittent fasting. And I've heard people talk about intermittent fasting on this show over and over and over and over again now. But the internet says that it really came from you. I know that intermittent fasting's been happening for thousands of years, but the idea of it as a tool for weight loss, they say it came from you.
Because in 2013, 2014, really nobody was talking about it from a medical standpoint, like what's happening in the body, why is it good, why is it bad? And really I was for years sort of this one voice in the wilderness that was saying like, hey, this is a tool for us. If you want to lose weight because it's important, then you can just set aside a period of time that you don't eat. At the time, people thought it was extremely bad for you. And I looked through all the literature and I said, well, why is it bad for you? And they had all these reasons. There's all these myths about intermittent fasting and how it's going to cause you to gain weight and be tired and hungry and all these sorts of things. I said, well, no, there's actually a lot of data here over the last, 2000 years that we've used intermittent fasting, and they're simply not true. And I can go over a few of those. But that's why there was nobody talking about it at the time. And that's where I started to sort of bring it into the sort of public consciousness that this is a tool. That's all it is.
Were you attacked for that at the time?
Oh, absolutely. Like I got attacked from all sides. I got, doctors were coming after me, dietitians were coming after me. Everybody thought I was going to do so much harm. And the funny part was that, as I think back, as I spoke to a lot of colleagues would say to me, you know what? I used to do that when I was in training. We did that all the time. We'd go 24 hours without eating because we're in the OR or we're in the ER or we were busy. So we did that constantly and nothing bad happened. And I remember thinking, you know what? As a doctor, I actually tell people to fast all the time. Mm-hmm. If you have to go for surgery, you need to fast. If you're after surgery, you need to fast. If you do fasting blood work, you need to fast. Mm-hmm. So why is it that I'm actually telling people to fast all the time, and yet for weight loss, you shouldn't fast? That doesn't make any sense. And physiologically, from a body standpoint, it doesn't make any sense. One of the things people talked about was, it's going to make you eat more later. It's going to make you more hungry. Your basal metabolic rate's going to go down. This was one of the big myths of intermittent fasting. That's going to cause the so-called starvation mode, right? And this is the idea that your basal metabolic rate will fall so low that...
I have actually heard that too, is that fasting, because I learned about it before, but then I kind of went into a little remission with it because I was following the wrong people, listening to the wrong people that were saying, oh, your body's going to go into starvation mode. And then when you're in starvation mode, you're going to start storing everything that goes onto your body once you start eating again. And to me, I'm a logical being, so that made sense. But the more studies and the more that I was listening to the right people and hearing it from the right mouths, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So our bodies aren't even made like that to go into starvation mode like that quickly. Our bodies are actually made to sustain no food for a while because we're not meant to be having all of this food at our ready available fingertips at any point into the day and the night. I mean, now look what we have. We got DoorDash, we have Uber Eats, we have all the things that you can literally access food 24/7 around the clock. I mean, honestly. So I was one of those who actually went down the path of thinking and listening to the wrong people. And he's the one who has kept on preaching the same message, saying, no, that is not true. Get your facts straight. And it is so important to do that.
When you do start to eat, you're going to gain weight again. So I said, well, let's think about this. You can do a study where you take somebody, say you, for example, and you could fast them for 4 days. and measure how many calories they're burning, their basal metabolic rate on day 0 before the fast, and measure them 4 days into the fast and see how many calories you're burning. So on day 0, they say you're burning, say, 2,000 calories a day.
That's the second time I've heard a doctor talking about your basal metabolic rate. So I think that's kind of important to know about your basal metabolic rate. And that calorie calculator did your basal metabolic rate also. So you might want to check that out.
Day 4 of 0 food, you don't eat any food for 4 days. They measure how much calories you're burning. Your body is burning 2,200 calories. Your basal metabolic rate didn't go down. It went up. Your body's activating itself during fasting, which is fascinating because if you're 4 days into the fast, and your basal metabolic rate's going to go down. This was one of the big myths of intermittent fasting. That's going to cause the so-called starvation mode, right? And this is the idea that your basal metabolic rate will fall so low that when you do start to eat, you're going to gain weight again. So I said, well, let's think about this. You can do a study where you take somebody, say you, for example, and you could fast them for 4 days and measure how many calories they're burning, their basal metabolic rate on day 0 before the fast, and measure them 4 days into the fast and see how many calories you're burning. So on day 0, they say you're burning, say, 2,000 calories a day. On day 4 of 0 food, you don't eat any food for 4 days. They measure how much calories you're burning. Your body is burning 2,200 calories. Your basal metabolic rate didn't go down.
Wow.
It went up. Your body's activating itself during fasting, which is fascinating because if you're trying to lose weight, dropping that basal metabolic rate is death. Like if you drop that metabolic rate, it's so hard to lose weight. That's what the calorie restricted diets did. That's what the low fat diets did, the eating all the time did. But when you actually fast, your metabolic rate went up. And we see this in study after study. And the reason is actually basic physiology. It's actually medical physiology, like first-year medical school stuff. When you don't eat, what happens in your body from a hormone?
What he just said made me so freaking mad. How is that what he just said, that astronomically, incredibly helpful information to us living our healthiest lives? How is that so basic first year medical school knowledge? Does that not make you mad? First year, he said, that's so basic. First year medical school knowledge. Like, so matter of factly. Well, then how come more doctors aren't talking about it? There's a lot of doctors now that are going against the corporate doctorate world, that are leaving the hospitals and leaving these places because they are forced to enforce medications for their kickbacks, and all of these things are trying to push through and guinea pig on their patients. There are more doctors that are coming out and starting their own practices and saying, don't go that route. And there are many more doctors talking about fasting, and they will have their patients do that. My brother had to go through a hip surgery, and he had to get in a fasted state because he had a lot of pounds to lose, or they couldn't do the surgery, and he needed the surgery to be done. But they can't do it without you being a certain weight and keeping that in check. So he had to go into a fasted state. So why is it that we're only talked about how important the fasted state is for you when we are in dire straits? Don't wait. There's no need to wait. Try it out now. No need to wait. Let's get down to it.
Own standpoint is that your insulin's going to fall. You're going to allow your body to start using the calories that are in the body. At the same time, other hormones go up. So the sympathetic tone goes up, which is your fight or flight response. Your cortisol levels go up because, again, it's an activation, and your growth hormone goes up because those hormones are going to start telling your body to start pulling calories out. So you're actually activating yourself. Think about it in the wild. If you see a hungry wolf, is that wolf just sort of, all like lethargic? No, he's activated. He's actually more dangerous than any other wolf, as opposed to, say, a lion who just ate. Because when you just eat, you just want to lie there. You want to digest your food. You have no energy. So people say, "Wow, your metabolic rate's going to go down if you fast." No, the truth is actually the opposite. It goes up.
Do you fast?
Oh, I do that regularly. Yeah.
And what does your fast look like? Because I've heard of all these different types of fasting: 36 hours, 72 hours, 14 hours.
Yeah. There's no rules for fasting. You could do, it could be 16 hours. So 14 hours, remember, is sort of a baseline, 12 to 14 hours, right? That just means you're not eating after dinner. That's it. And so if you want to lose weight, that's probably not strong enough to make you lose weight, because 12 to 14 hours is sort of just this baseline that people had in the 70s. So you can go to 16 hours, for example, and you shrink that by either eating breakfast a little later or eating dinner a little earlier. But you can do more than that. You can do, say, a 24-hour fast. You could eat 2 meals a day, say eat between 12 and 6. That's a 6-hour eating window. Or you could eat once a day, which is like a 24-hour fast. Or you could even go multiple days without eating, because again, your body is smart. Like your body knows what to do. If you have all those calories sitting on your body, right? 100,000 calories sitting in body fat, and you don't eat for 3 days. Well, you need 6,000 calories. Well, you have 100,000, 200,000. So what's the problem? Take it out of your body fat.
That's right.
Let your body eat your body fat. That's what fasting is doing for you. And it's totally.
It's like an account, right? You're a business. Your body's your business. You got all this money stored up in the account, and now you've got employees you need to pay out. They're looking for their payout. Well, you got the money already stored up in your account, your body account. So pay it out. The organ needs this much, the spleen needs this much, the heart needs this much, the metabolism needs this much. All of these things that are operating at a constant rate, they need that much. The brain needs an account, needs to pay out. Your body's already got it. So that's what I always tell my clients. Look down. If you have fat stored, you're good. You're not starving. The only way you're starving is if you look down and you are skin on bones. Otherwise, if you got fat to burn, you are not starving. People in other countries are starving. There are people in this country starving, and those people, you can tell they're starving. But most of the time when you are feeling, or somebody is saying, I'm starving, and that's in their mind. No, you're not. Look, you're not. You really aren't. Look around. I was in that space. I don't say that word. I don't say starving because, it's not fair to people that actually are. But I would look down like, oh, I'm so hungry. And I was 210 pounds. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's my mind saying, oh, I need to eat because I'm programmed to emotionally eat that way. Oh, you hurt yourself? Here's a cookie. Here's some ice cream. You want a lollipop? Like, it's constant since you're a kid as an American. In my humble opinion, that's how it was. You grew up with people wanting to feed you emotionally, and then, oh, you're coming over. I'll fix you something to eat. Like, of course, it's delicious. It's yummy. It's something that, you get an instant gratification from. Of course, you're going to want to eat it. But who knew that this is where we would be in our lifetime, like battling the absolute biggest nation, biggest as in obesity, and the biggest illnesses, and the most cancer, and the most problems. That's us. That's where we are. And who would have thunk that the quickest way that we can get feeling better, get our energy back, get our clarity back, ADHD, you don't need to worry about that because your body can handle that. You got depression, you're bipolar, you got Alzheimer's, you got dementia, you got cancer, you got, the list goes on and on. You got the things, your body will tackle it. You just gotta give it a chance to get there. And that means stop putting all the toxins in it and let it have a beat to sort it all out. Your body is so freaking intelligent. I've listened to more doctors than I can even think about. So many studies I've thumb through so many nights falling asleep listening to all the juicy goods of the medical industry, of the studies and the research that has already been done that won't be talked about. It's not talked about. And before, it was silenced and shut down, and nobody could even talk about it without getting blocked or kicked off or suspended or whatever, what have you. And now the doctors feel like the horse or the dog in the race, right? So they finally let the floodgates open and the freedom to speak about it, and it is just on fire. The internet is on fire with all of these doctors coming out, all of these podcasters having all these interviews. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to find where the wheel is and get on it. Find where that wheel is that's been hidden away and tucked away, and oh, don't let them see that. That's going to give them too much health, too much knowledge. We don't want to let them have that because they'll stop taking all these pills, and I'm going to stop meeting my quota, and I'm going to stop getting all my kickbacks. That's not about you. They're not caring about you. You want to care about you, you got to care about you. You can't trust anybody else to care about you and your health. You have to take it into your own hands. I've posted up on so many people talking about, oh, if I had just done a little bit of research, not even a lot, not even the deep dive, not even the rabbit hole fall, just a little bit of research on the thing that my doctor said I needed. If I would have done a little bit of research, I would have been more knowledgeable. And I wouldn't have had, now I have all these side effects from all of this, mechanical drugs I've been putting into my body that's affected my mind and my mood. And now I need these other things to balance that thing. Just cut it all out. Let's just get to the basics, the intermittent fasting basics. Let's just get to the basics. It's bringing it back to the way our bodies were meant to be. Done with the rant, moving back on to the doctor who literally has been silenced, shut down, blocked, pushed out, all the things, talking about this since 2014 when he was finally able to, make a statement because he left the corporate doctorate world, corporate medicine.
Totally natural, because that's what it's there for. That body fat is not there for looks. It's there for you as a source, as a store of calories. So fasting just lets you use that. There's nothing wrong with it.
Leptin is this hormone that essentially brings down my hunger, makes me less hungry. Yeah. Is it therefore possible that people are becoming leptin resistant?
There is leptin resistance. The question again is why? And the way to think about it is it's sort of this sort of balance, right? So insulin, if you give people insulin, like if you think about causes of obesity, what causes people to gain weight? Well, if I give you insulin, you'll gain weight. If I give me insulin, I'll gain weight. So insulin causes weight gain, whereas leptin will cause the opposite. So it's sort of this seesaw. Body fat is nothing more or less than a store of energy. Right? And you only store energy when your body tells you. Our entire body runs on hormones, right? Nothing happens without the hormonal system being activated. So insulin is pushing us to gain weight. Leptin is pushing us to lose weight. And what's happening is that one is sort of overcoming the other. Insulin is overcoming the leptin.
In the last 6 months, so many of the nutritionists I've spoken to have really impressed upon me that we are fiber deficient. And I'm wondering how that happened.
Well, I think it was part of the processing thing. So taking out fiber is a great way to make foods more appealing, if you will. So what happens is that if you take flour, for example, and you have a lot of fiber in it, then the digestion is slowed. So what you get is a slower rise. So you take flour and you put a lot of fiber in it. Well, instead of having this huge spike in insulin, what you're going to get is a much slower spike in insulin. When you have the huge spike in insulin, it basically overloads your system and it makes you feel, gives you this big hit. Sort of like if you have like cocaine, for example, it's turned into a very fine powder, then you snort it, so you get this massive sort of spike. Same thing with carbohydrates. If you don't have any fiber, you you pull all the fiber out by processing, you get this massive sort of unnatural spike, and your body says, oh, that's
Thanks,
great. It
Bo.
tastes great. I really love it. And you get people who are sort of
So sweet.
addicted to it because that big spike is then going to release dopamine.
It's interesting that he is talking literally about cocaine and food. Like, how many times I'm talking to people about food is an addiction. People are like, food can't be an addiction. Yes, it is. Drugs are harmful. Alcohol is harmful. How can it be an addiction? Food's not harmful. Yes, it is. Look at us. Look at what's happening. There's more children with freaking cancer this day than any other time. More people I know, adults, that are getting cancer. It's plagued our family. It's plagued friends. It's horrible. Don't tell me that food cannot also be an addiction like alcohol and drugs. This doctor is literally comparing the dopamine hit from the food that we eat the same as a hit from cocaine. Thinkers, y'all. Put them on. Get there.
And dopamine is a pleasure hormone. So you eat, cookies or whatever, highly processed foods, you get this sort of pleasurable response. And that makes you crave it. If you have a lot of fiber, it acts almost sort of like an antidote to that carbohydrate because you're slowing down that release.
What foods are high in fiber?
Well, mostly unprocessed foods. So the things like beans, and if you're eating whole grains, for example, compared to others, then it's going to have a reduction in the speed of absorption. So it's, again, not about the calories necessarily, or even necessarily about the carbohydrates, because you're still eating the same amount of carbohydrate, but you're slowing down the speed at which is absorbed, which is going to change the instructions that you give your body. If you have a massive spike in glucose, you get this massive dopamine surge, right? And your body's like, yo, love it. Then the next time you're like, okay, give me that refined carbohydrate.
What about protein? Because we tend to think of protein as something that, is super great for weight loss.
Yeah, protein is probably it's not bad. I mean, the main thing is cutting down the carbohydrates. But, in the obesity code, I really talk about cutting the processing down, because proteins usually don't come as pure protein, right? In nature, you never find how you have whey powder protein or whatever you get. The only way you can do that is by processing the heck out of food to get some kind of pure protein. It doesn't exist in nature. It almost doesn't exist in nature. Maybe there's a few examples. But when you eat meat, you think, okay, there's a lot of protein, but that's actually a lot of fat in there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you eat anything else that has protein, it's rarely all protein. Very lean meats like chicken breast and stuff are going to be higher in protein, but there's still a lot of other stuff in there. And it's very rare that somebody will eat just all pure 100% protein. It tends to be hard to eat. The fat brings a lot of flavor and so on. So it's a bit of an unnatural way to eat. Sure, if you're to eat a lot of protein, it does spike insulin, so it does have some effect to gain weight, but it's actually a very inefficient macronutrient. That is, there's three macronutrients. There's carbohydrates, there's fat, and there's protein. Your body stores energy or calories in two ways. There's glucose, which is carbohydrate, and it stores it as body fat, which is fat, right? Protein is not a way for the body to store energy. So when you're eating a lot of protein, it's very difficult for it to turn it into a storage mechanism. So you eat glucose and you eat fat, you can store glucose and you can store fat, but you eat protein, but you don't really store it as a source of energy.
So if all foods then increase our insulin levels, I guess the best solution is to fast.
Fasting is certainly one way, but just changing the foods to other ones. Because if you look at the insulin release in processed foods versus unprocessed foods, there's a
So it's nothing that we haven't really heard before. It's pretty much just changing, eating whole foods, not eating foods, whole foods meaning stuff that's not in a box. Pretty much. Stuff that's not in a box. Eat the stuff that is whole foods. protein, vegetables, that kind of stuff. Do that and then stay in a fasted window and your belly fat will come down. 15,000 steps is what the other doctor said he puts his clients on. 15,000 steps is a lot if you have a job that you're sitting down and then you're tired when you get home and you're sitting down. Only way, I put it in the chat, I put the link to the chat, the only way to get those extra steps from inside your home or while you're at work, if you are so inclined to be able to have a walking desk at work, is to get the walking pad. That walking pad is also on an incline, so it's a little easier on your joints when you have it at an incline, because then you're not just like power pressing down and giving your lower back some more pain, or your hips or your knees or your ankle joints. If you're staying at a little bit of an incline, doesn't have to be much, 3, 5 incline, something little, you're now taking all that pressure off of that solid forward motion like that. So it's definitely something you want to check into. But he's not saying anything that we haven't already heard for the most part from a lot of people. So we're going to go ahead and move on through this. We've spent a lot of time on this belly fat issue, but we're also learning about, the hammering home the whole fasting and intermittent fasting, and now we know about the calculator, so you can find out really how much you should be taking in. But really, it's what's coming in needs to go out. Like you can't be just eating all the day and then not moving your body or not burning it off in any way. But what you can do is allow your body to burn it off by shrinking your window. That's the first step I tell my clients when they're ready. We're already doing the workouts in most of the cases, and then they're like coming to me and I say, I keep telling you the same thing. 80% is what you put in your mouth. So in that 80%, what you put in your mouth, it can also relate to what you don't put in your mouth. So going into that intermittent fasting status, I don't even change any part of their diet, what they eat. All I do is say, we're just going to allow you to eat in 10 hours. And then that's it. The rest of the time, you need to be drinking water or maybe apple cider vinegar. Sorry, my son is messaging me, but apple cider vinegar, that's going to help curb your appetite. It's going to help keep your pH balance in your body in check. So 10 hours, you don't even have to change one thing about what you're eating to start with. You're going to see results if you just shrink your window. Then you can move on to cutting out the snacks and just having your meals for the day. And then you want to start cutting out the sugary drinks. Start putting those in check. So, there's ways, simple little ways that don't make you feel like overwhelmed and like you have this whole big mound of things to do. It's really simple. It's a simple task, but can be daunting because it's a mental game. It's the mental game. But walking, just simple walking, that 15,000 steps a day is going to get that belly away. I have so many t-shirts. Come on, sign them up. 15,000 steps a day is gonna keep that belly away. Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about. This is the last one we're going to talk about or go through with the worst things to eat that feed the visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat around the organs. It's the hardest fat to get rid of, and it's the fat that creates the belly. So the visceral fat is really what you want to focus on.
On this video, I want to talk about visceral fat.
Yeah.
Because again, visceral fat is the one that you want to be focused on. So let's dive in. Okay, so for starters, visceral fat is the most unhealthy fat in your body, like I mentioned before. We are used to thinking of fat as being subcutaneous, meaning it's on the outside and we see it because we look at it and we're like, oh, I don't like the way that looks. So it really is like under the skin. So remember, there's like the skin and the muscle, and the visceral fat is right in the middle of that. I'm sorry, subcutaneous fat is right in the middle of that. And it's soft when you touch it, and typically it's distributed around your whole body. Visceral fat is very, very different It is not soft and cushy like, your grandma who had a lot of subcutaneous fat and you snuggled next to her and she was all soft and like snuggly and cushy. Visceral fat is not that. Visceral fat is hard and it's dense and it builds up around your belly and it builds up around your organs and it's rigid. And it's this location of where it's at that makes it very dangerous, because it is fat that is put in areas that are going to affect your survival. So, men have this a lot where all of a sudden they get a hard, bloated belly. And that is that visceral fat, that it's not soft. It's like almost like a rigid feeling. And, today I really want to go into, I know a lot of women listen to my videos, but I know a lot of you have men in your lives. And I know a lot of men also listen to this. I do believe men get that visceral fat more than women around the abdomen. And a lot of times it's because of this one thing that we're about to go into. I want to answer this question. Why is visceral fat so bad? Well, one reason is because of the location in which it's stored. So we already talked about that visceral fat is stored around your organs and it's around your belly. But because it's dangerous in these locations because it releases a cellular waste product that dumps directly into your portal vein. Now, your portal vein, this one's, oh my gosh, this is going to blow your mind. We have not discussed this. I mean, briefly in maybe one of my books, but this is so important. It dumps directly into your portal.
What did she
go into? I want to answer this question. Why is visceral fat so bad? Well, one reason is because of the location in which it's stored. So we already talked about that visceral fat is stored around your organs and it's around your belly.
Okay.
But because it's dangerous in these locations because it releases a cellular waste product that dumps directly into your portal vein. Now, your portal vein, this one's, oh my gosh, this is going to blow your mind. We have not discussed this. I mean, briefly in maybe one of my books, but this is so important. The portal vein has many different functionalities, but one of it is that it goes directly to your liver from your small intestine. It is a communication line from your liver and to your small intestine and back again.
Like a straw.
And along this vein connection, microbes from your small intestine climb up to the liver and signal the liver to regulate blood sugar. So if your portal vein is filled with visceral fat, it can no longer help be a communication line from your small intestine to your liver, which means your blood sugar is going to get out of control. So those of you that are trying to get this metabolic switch down,
that is, boom, mind-blowing. I'm always so amazed by the operation of our bodies already. But just to hear the breakdown of how incredible, think about it. Your liver and your small intestine, right? So now you have this little straw like portal vein that goes from your liver to your small intestine. And you have these little tiny microbes from your small intestine that are going up that straw, that little vein, into your liver to let them know about your insulin, your blood sugar levels. But when you get visceral fat, the fat that makes your belly big and hard, when you get that fat, guess what happens? It goes into that little straw vein that connects the small intestine to the liver. And now you can't, those microbes, it's blocked. It's like a crumbly, bumbly mess in there and it can't get through. So now you got that visceral fat in that vein. Now it cannot get through from the liver, from the small intestine up to the liver to tell the liver, hey, wait a second, there's too much sugar in here. your blood sugar is too high. You can't tell it that. So your body is going out of control. Wild how incredible your body is, man. Now, how do you get rid of that visceral fat, you might ask?
And you're trying to improve your metabolic health by fasting a little longer, and you're struggling and you can't get your glucose to come down in the fasted state. The portal vein could be the problem. Or those of you who eat foods that seem healthy, but all of a sudden they spike your blood sugar, the portal vein could be the issue, because it is the communication line for managing blood sugar from your small intestine, stomach area combo there to your liver. Now, in the terms of chronic disease, there is a 2008 study in Hepatology, it's a journal about the liver, found that visceral fat increased the risk of liver disease because it dumps a ton of triglycerides into your liver through the portal vein. So your fat, remember, your fat is, they say your fat is an endocrine organ. It is a living thing. It's not just sitting there. And it's actually got a functionality. And one of the functions that it has is it's got toxins in it. Remember how I've taught you guys that fat is a storage pantry for toxins? Well, with visceral fat, you have all these toxins sitting there, and that just gets dumped through the portal vein into your liver, which all of a sudden increases your triglycerides. So if you're looking at your lab work and your cholesterol is too high and your triglycerides are too high, you're going to want to get rid of this one thing I'm going to tell you. Okay, I'm getting there. Don't worry. I just really want you to be motivated when I get there. So a 2008 study in Clinical Cornerstone found that the visceral fat also physically compresses your lungs and your diaphragm while decreasing oxygen and nutrient delivery to your organs.
Wow.
This causes an increased risk in asthma and sleep apnea and other breathing problems. So this visceral fat, it's not like the fat you get around your chin or the fat on the back of your arm. This fat is dumping toxins into the portal vein. It's causing a lack of communication from your gastrointestinal system to the liver. It's causing increased pressure on your lungs and your diaphragm, and it's decreasing oxygen and nutrients to the rest of your organs, contributing to challenges with sleep and sleep apnea. It also is that visceral fat is one of the biggest predictors of heart disease and one of the biggest predictors of death. It is
okay, so that was a lot to unpack right there. Whew. Okay. Your visceral fat, the fat that is around your organs, not the fat that you're normally seeing in your arms, your legs, your hips, your belly. Your belly, if your belly is swollen and tight, it's visceral fat. That's the type of fat that you do not want to have. If you have a tight, swollen belly, you need to heed these warnings. You need to pay attention to this, because it is the 100% thing that is going to cause you to have so many health problems. And in the terms of, like what she said, like the asthma, the COPD, the sleep apnea, all of the things that you can't breathe because you got this visceral issue. You've got so many other ailments. You have arthritis or so many other functions that fail because of the fat around your body. You're going to have high cholesterol. You're going to have high blood sugar. You probably have diabetes or a borderline. So many things that involve the visceral fat. And for you to get healthier and get it in check, you just have to pay attention to what you're putting in your mouth. That's it. And start shrinking your eating window to allow your body to process all the things you've already put in there. You've already packed it up like a little hoarder with all the things. You've got to let it have time to clear it all out, like the HGTV show. We're coming in and we're clearing it out and we're giving you a makeover. Let your body create its own makeover inside by doing the intermittent fasting. I'm telling you, from an avid faster who goes 48, 72 hours, no problem, without putting food in my mouth. Was that easy at the start? No, but my health was on the line, and that's important to me. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to live that life. We got this one life, right? I want to live this life to its fullest with my full energy and my full power and my full focus and my full mind and my full personality and my full mood. All of the things that come along with it. I want to live that life. I don't want to live that suffering life. I don't want to live it. And if I have control over it and I can control my body and how my body's health and well-being is, I'm going to do that because I care about me, because caring about me allows me to be able to care about everybody else around me. But if I'm falling apart and I'm failing, how am I going to be available to anybody else? I can't be putting anybody else back together when I'm falling apart. Come on, think about it. Visceral fat, that's the fat that around the belly, when your belly is hard, that's what it's called.
One you want to get rid of. So unfortunately, visceral fat is much more of a problem for men than women. This is why men store it in that bellies a lot more. And we do have visceral fat in women. We don't want to give up on that thought, or it's not like we got a free pass. And women going through menopause actually store visceral fat more during menopause because we become more insulin resistant through the menopause experience. And we've talked a lot about that. So with all of that in mind, what's the number one thing? The number one thing is alcohol. Alcohol is the number one driver of visceral fat gain. It is a major, major cause. And there is a 2023 study in diabetes research and clinical practice that found there is a direct linear relationship between alcohol consumption and visceral fat. The more people drank, the more visceral fat they had. Drinking increases visceral fat equally in men and women. Now, I know you're going to ask me this. How much is drinking is too much? Well, we went back and found a 1996 study that was in a Journal of Obesity and Metabolic Disorders, and they found this was a woman study that women who drank 2 drinks a night put on more visceral fat than women who didn't. 2 drinks. That's 2 glasses of wine. That's 2 beers. That's 2 drinks. You gain more visceral fat. We also have a study that was done in 2023 that found binge drinking, having 5 drinks or more a night, was especially bad for visceral fat. So let's keep it under 5. And that was more done on men. And researchers aren't quite clear why alcohol specifically increases visceral fat. But the
let's move on.
Really interesting studies that I found was in the Journal of the American Heart Association. Here we go. You ready? Those of you that are like, hopefully if you're depressed and you're like, I hate this video, hopefully you didn't click off because this is good. This is good news. That 1 drink a night showed no increase in visceral fat. So we're back at dose matters. Dose matters. So like a glass of wine at night, have it with your food, have it with fiber, and it won't affect as much of the glucose. And your liver won't be as damaging on the liver. So
I'm gonna put that ketone and glucose monitor in the chat again, because I feel like it is so important. What works for one person may not work for another. What may affect somebody else's body may not even affect you. So if you have the glucose monitor, you can, after you eat any of your foods, you can give yourself a check out to see, is that thing spiking your glucose? Is the thing that you thought was good for you spiking your glucose? It's almost like a process of elimination and learning more about your body, rather than spending all the extra expensive money going to the doctor to keep getting all these tests and all of the blood work done and all of the things. And of course, you're not going to be there just eating separate things. You're not going to just be like, I'm going to eat this banana and now you check my glucose. I'm going to eat this thing and now you check my glucose. You can do that in the comfort of your own home and learn about it yourself. You don't need somebody else to tell you. We are in the world of information. We are living in a world where we have so many doctors and tests and studies that you can research on your own. And there's an access and a plethora of information, so much of it. I urge you to go and look at these videos and do your research. Research any of these videos that I'm showing you is going to be in my playlist under podcast info vids on my channel at Kara Chris TV. Go there, research yourself, look the names up of these doctors. I deep dive on all of these people before I even share it with you guys because I want to make sure the knowledge is good and true. And where are they getting their knowledge? And how long have they been a doctor? What are their studies they're going off of? I deep dive all that information for you so you can have an honest and true place when you come to this podcast and we peel back the layers on the things that are true and accurate and going to help you and the things that are not. Because this whole journey is about helping you live your best life from the inside out, literally. You want that younger, fresh face look again? Start doing some longer fasting. You're going to clean out all that nasty blood cell or nasty cells in your body that are tearing you down, and some of them are even turning into cancer. You can clear that out by fasting. You want to have that nice glow, and all those little lines around your face and all around your neck and the crepiness and all of that piling on. Do a 3-day fast. Replenish, reboot, get rid of all of those cells. You will have a whole new regeneration. People are like, you always look the same age. You're doing the Botox and things. I'm not. I have before, but I'm not doing that toxic stuff anymore. Once I learned the benefits of autophagy in fasting, it's God's natural beauty that we get to do from within for free. It's literally just not putting any more food and toxins into your body and allowing it to have its like spring cleaning in there. Let it clean it all up and ship it all out. Don't need it. Don't need all those damaged cells. Don't need all what these doctors like to call zombie cells. The zombie cells will make you look like a zombie. You don't need those in there. The visceral fat and all the fat around the belly, the quickest way you're going to get that in check is to shrink your window. Do some intermittent fasting. You want to really amp your belly game up? Get on the freaking treadmill or go outside and do a walk. If it's not nice where you are, or maybe you're just embarrassed, or maybe walking outside's not your thing, it's okay. Get the walking pad I put right here. Get on. You want to watch your show? You will be shocked at how long you watch. If you're a binge watcher, how many hours? How many hours could you have some steps in? You will be so shocked at how quickly you were on that treadmill walking and not even thinking about it because you're doing what you normally do on your phone or you on your laptop or whatever. You got work to do. You got stuff you're looking at on your phone, whatever the case, watching my podcast, whatever the case, you could be getting those steps in. 15,000 steps sounds like a lot for someone who doesn't really move right now, but you want to gift yourself something beautiful or your family saying, what can we gift you? We just don't know. There are this right here. You don't have to get that walking pad. That's just one I know and I trust. And it happens to be $40 off. So it's like $109 right now for that walking pad that I posted in the chat. Like, come on. Give the gift of health to yourself. This is something that's going to change your life. We have this one life, right? Do you want to live it being tired and overweight and just foggy and not living your best life, not feeling good, not looking good, all the things that come along with it? Not being able to think clearly, not being able to focus, being moody, being agitated, not getting enough sleep, having swollen under eyes, looking like hell, big old belly, not fitting in anything anymore, just out of whack all the way around. Now you got high blood pressure. Now you're pre-diabetic. Now all the things. But you want to get that instant gratification, right? You want to feel that instant gratification, that dopamine, because life sucks and you want to feel good right now. And that dopamine is coming from that food because you're putting that refined sugar in. What's that refined sugar doing? It's getting a burst of dopamine. So now you're feeling good, but what happens? that wears off in 15 minutes. And then what? You want to have some more. It's like the other doctor we listened to talking about cocaine and the addiction. People don't take it seriously that food is an addiction. It is. It absolutely is. It can kill you just like cocaine, just like alcohol. It can kill you just like drugs and alcohol because there are so many toxins and you're eating yourself to death. You're eating yourself into illness. It is really something that if you put your mind to it and you really want to feel that high and you really want to feel that good feeling inside, prove yourself that you can shrink your window and eat in a window. Prove yourself that now you can cut out those sugary drinks and feel so much better and watch your belly shrink. Feel that dopamine rush when you knew that you were going to the pantry to get yourself a snack and you flipped it around and went and did something else. That is a power rush right there. Then you go into those longer fasts, that 17, 18, going into a 24-hour fast for your first time is mind-blowing. The feeling that you get, you talk about a rush, it is powerful. It's powerful. I'm telling you, you want to create a positive vibe for that, not something that is going to take your life away, that you don't have the energy to live. You don't have the energy to live that life the way that you could live that life because you're tired or you're moody or you're embarrassed at how you look. You don't want to do it. Don't do it to yourself. And if you have done it to yourself, it's fine. I've done it to myself and look where I am now. You just got to take one step at a time, and you're going to find out how to do that here on this channel. Got tons of videos of how that one step at a time works. And it's very, very a simple process, but you just have to get your mind around it. What's that you said? Done 12-hour fasting before, it wasn't on purpose. Yeah, but a 12-hour fast is not, that should be pretty basic, 12 hours, and not to downplay that, Bo. But you think about if you're sleeping proper, which is like, what, 8 hours? And then, so that's only if you ate all the way up to the very moment that you went to sleep and you got that 8 hours and you put food right in your mouth right when you woke up. That's how an 8-hour fast would only be an 8-hour fast, is you're only fasting during your sleep. But if you ate at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and then you didn't eat again until like 11 o'clock the next day, now you're getting a good fast in. So you got this. You could do it. A good fast would be a 14 to 16 hour fast. 12 and 13 hours is the baseline. That's where you should be. And that's great that you did that. But you should be doing a 14 to 16 hour fast to really keep your health benefits. If you are trying to drop weight and get rid of that belly and that visceral fat, you want to go into a 17-hour fast, into a 24-hour fast once a week. Once a week. Not every day, once a week. You want to go into that bigger, longer, fastest state. But every day you should be in a 14 to 16 hour window for sure. 14 at the minimum. 16 is much better because you get way more benefits at that 16-hour fast area. But to lose the weight, you want to go into a 1 time a week, 24-hour fast at least. If you are trying to get rid of that visceral fat, tighten up that belly, tighten up any of your obesity that you got carrying around, you got extra baggage you're trying to get rid of, 24-hour fast each week is going to get you there like that. And the benefits are astronomical, which I know you know from watching this stream. So let's let her continue because she gets fired up about telling you guys all of the facts because she's been silenced for so long. For so long she wasn't able to talk, and now they're lifting all of the bans and the restrictions. So these doctors who have been trying to shout it from the mountaintops are now having their voices heard.
At the possibility that maybe you need, if you've been drinking 2 to 5 drinks a night and you're worried about chronic disease, you're worried about this visceral fat, you're worried about belly fat, how about we bring it down to 1 drink a night? And I know a lot of you have loved ones, that are experiencing this, send this video to them, because it's really about the dose. Or every couple of nights, but this visceral fat is very damaging. Okay, questions on fat specifically and losing belly fat. So I really want to dive into some questions that I had around belly fat. Belly fat has been the most common video that I've done for you all. So I want to make sure that we dive deeper into this belly fat issue, because it definitely seems to be one that is motivating to all of you. So this question is, I'm confused. Why do I either not lose weight or gain weight during a fast? Am I missing something or doing something wrong? Okay, if you're not getting a result with weight loss while you're fasting, I want you to think of a couple of things. First, you may need to go into a longer fast. So some of you need to try a 36, 48, 72-hour fast. If you are still going into those longer fasts and you are gaining weight, then the next thing you need to look at is opening up your detox pathways. I have done a lot of videos on that. I'm sure my team will link them here. This is where you look at castor oil packs and eating more fiber and lymphatic drainage and infrared sauna. In both Fast Like a Girl and Eat Like a Girl, I have lists of different ways that you can open up pathways. In fact, in Eat Like a Girl, I have an accelerated fat burning checklist in there. You are not doing something wrong. You either need to go into a longer fast or you need to open up your detox pathways. The third challenge with fasting and not losing weight or gaining weight could be your toxic load. So let's clean up the toxins you might be eating. So make sure you're doing the good oils. Make sure you're eating real food, not food that comes in a box. Eat food that came from nature. So lean in to more healthy foods and Eat Like a Girl. I've lists of them. So go get that book. But you're not doing something wrong. Your body is clogged somewhere, and either you need to go into a longer fast, you need to open up your detox pathways, or you need to clean up your food, the foods you're eating. And that will get.
The reason she's saying going into a longer fast for cleaning up the visceral fat areas, like for the belly in particular, is because when you're in that longer fast, it gives your body time to get rid of all that stuff. Seek it out. If you've been eating like that for so long, your body has a lot of things stored. So it's going to take some time. You got to give it a little bit more time than your normal everyday intermittent fast. You have to go longer. And once you pass that, once you go all day without eating, you go to bed early, let's say, and then you get up and have a coffee. You're so proud of yourself. It's just what happens. You're so proud of yourself that you did something the unthinkable. Like in your current status, can you even think of going all day and night to the next day without eating? Right? So when you do that, it's like the unthinkable. Like you're so proud you did it. You had all the options to break and go get this snack or put this in your mouth or whatever. You're making food for other people. You could have at any time you could have broken and you didn't. That is so mentally powerful and just like invigorating. It really does fuel you up to be like, okay, well, I already made it this long. Let me just push it to dinner and then see how you're feeling there. But now what you've done is you've gone for 2 days. And it's incredible what happens to your body. You have so much energy. You cannot even believe it. You can't believe it. You're in such a happy mood and so positive and like excitable. You just can't even believe it. It's really quite something. It really is. Once you're able to get there, you don't just jump right in over there. you ease your way in there by intermittent fasting. Maybe you do like a 10-hour window for a week, and then you shrink it to an 8-hour window, and then you go into a 6-hour window. Like you don't have to just jump right in. In fact, I wouldn't even suggest to do that. I have my 15-day kickstart that's on my channel. You guys should check that out. But it is really quite something how quickly your body heals itself. It's powerful stuff.
Get you a better result in the fasted window.
Okay, I got to interrupt this video because I have a free guide for you so you can master fasting. It's called A Beginner's Guide to a Fasting Lifestyle. And all you've got to do is click here and you can jump right.
You can get this video.
Excess, it didn't know what to do, and it put it in visceral fat. So it had extra glucose, it had extra hormones, it had extra toxins, and it stored it in fat. And it did that to save your life. So now when you go into the fasted state, you click over into this fat burning place. And when you're over here in this fat burning place, what ends up happening is your body gets rid of that excess. So yes, there is a bigger picture here. I love the weight I am. I love living in the body I live in. I do regular 15 to 24-hour fasts on a regular basis. I throw in all kinds of long fasts. I am there for longevity. I am there for disease prevention. I am there for brain clarity. It has been the greatest healing health habit tool I have ever found, and it is completely free. So stay for all that.
It is completely free. Come on, say it again. Say it again. All right, we're going to move on. That is the belly blasting best info you're going to get. Belly, not only just belly blasting, but health everlasting. It is seriously a game changer, you guys. Game changer. I'm subscribing to her because I just love her. I love the way she breaks it down and helps you understand and gives you the knowledge and doesn't make you have to pause it and look up a bunch of stuff to understand what she's talking about. She literally breaks it down and helps you understand it in real time, which I am always so grateful for doctors that do that. But also backing it with her science and all the studies that are out. I love all of that. I need all of the things that really showcase where the information came from and how many years ago and how long has it been studied, all of that stuff. So we are going to roll into baking soda. And at the end of this video, I'm going to throw you at the end of this podcast, I'm going to throw you a wild card in there and show you guys something that you probably would have never thought of before. And it's coming up, I promise. So let's go into the baking soda bit. What is baking soda good for?
Baking soda has long been marketed as a multi-use substance, great for tasks around the house and easing ailments of various sorts. Its superpower is that because it's an alkaline, when it's mixed with an acid, it changes the pH level. What's pH, and what are the benefits of baking soda? We explain. I'm Lainey with Integris Health, and this is Integris Health for you. pH stands for power of hydrogen. Measured numerically on a scale of 0 to 14, pH levels in the range of 0 to 5 are acids. 5 to 7 are neutral, and higher than 8 means a substance is an alkaline. Alkaline substances absorb acid. Baking soda, the star of today's story, clocks a pH of about 8.3. That's great, but what does that mean? Here are some uses for baking soda. Add it to your oral hygiene routine. Brushing your teeth with baking soda-laced toothpaste can avoid tooth decay and help keep your mouth and gums healthy.
Wow.
Soothe a bug bite or sting. Calm an upset stomach. An excess of acid is often the culprit when indigestion strikes. Calm it down by drinking a glass of water mixed with baking soda. Talk to your pediatrician before giving it to anyone younger than 6 years old. Wash your face. Baking soda can help remove oils when used in facial wash and can be a beneficial part of your overall skincare routine. Natural deodorant. The premise is this: human sweat by itself doesn't stink. It only becomes funky after the bacteria in your armpit start to break it down into acidic waste, which brings with it a distinct aroma. By decreasing acidity, baking soda eliminates that sweaty smell. Helps chemotherapy.
So it's so true. The baking soda thing. My sister used to use this like all natural deodorant. And let me just tell you, that stuff makes you stink even worse. So just don't do it to yourself. You can take a loofah and scrub your armpits really well and not use a deodorant afterwards. Keep your armpits scrubbed out really well, because those are the portals for your sweat to leave your body, and that's where your toxins are. So for your sweat to leave your body and the toxins to leave your body, those have to be unclogged, those pores in your armpit. So scrubbing those pores in the shower are going to help you get that out, but also to keep your pH balance in check. Taking a little teaspoon, a little tiny eighth of a teaspoon in your water and drink that down. And that's going to be super helpful to leveling out that pH so you don't have those stinky pits, but also keeping your armpits free and clear.
Therapy work. Research has shown that baking soda can help some cancer treatments work more effectively. Certain types of chemotherapy need alkaline conditions to perform. Around the house, baking soda can help you keep things clean without harsh commercial products or chemicals. To learn more about baking soda, you can read the full article on the Integris Health for You blog at integrisok.com/foryou. And if you have any topics you'd like to hear from us in the future,
So here we go. We already heard about what she has to say about that. We're moving on to the actual huge benefits when you take the baking soda.
Shocking benefits of baking soda.
Since we're talking about belly fat. Thank you, Hal.
You'd never guess that the same baking soda sitting in your kitchen cabinet could be a secret powerhouse for your health. Sure, you use it for baking or maybe cleaning, but its benefits go far beyond that. It's more than just a household hack. Baking soda is backed by science and has been a go-to remedy for generations. Whether it's soothing everyday health issues or giving your physical performance a boost, this unassuming powder can do wonders for your body, inside and out. Let's explore the surprising ways baking soda can make a real difference in your life. 1. Heartburn and indigestion relief. Heartburn and indigestion can be a real discomfort, but did you know that baking soda can provide quick and effective relief? Heartburn occurs when stomach acid flows back into the esophagus, causing a burning sensation. Baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, is a natural antacid that can neutralize this excess acid in your stomach. It works by balancing the pH in your digestive system, turning that highly acidic environment into something much more manageable. Mixing just half a teaspoon of baking soda with a glass of water can help neutralize the acid and provide almost instant relief.
So that's just half.
This simple remedy has been used for generations, and many people keep it handy for those occasional flare-ups of acid reflux. While antacids from the store can be effective, they often contain extra ingredients you might not need or want. Baking soda, on the other hand, is pure, inexpensive, and readily available in your kitchen. It's important to note, however, that baking soda should only be used occasionally for this purpose. Overuse can lead to an imbalance of electrolytes and potentially cause other issues like increased sodium levels. But
yeah, I would only do it like once a day, or not even once a day, like once in a blue moon. If you ate something and you are having acid reflux, or there's something that is causing for it, maybe you're having like irritable bowel syndrome or something like that, I would definitely use it then and use it on a sparing basis. But I would not use that on a daily basis when you can use apple cider vinegar and get the same type of benefit and not have your electrolytes get out of whack or out of balance.
when used responsibly, it's a safe and effective way to quickly alleviate the discomfort that heartburn can cause. Next time you feel that burn, skip the trip to the pharmacy and reach for a glass of baking soda and water. 2. Teeth whitening and oral health.
Yeah, we heard that one.
If you've ever wanted whiter teeth or better oral health without the hefty price tag of professional treatments, baking soda might be your answer. This unassuming powder is a secret weapon for dental care, and it's not just a myth. In fact, many toothpastes include baking soda as a key ingredient because of its incredible ability to whiten teeth and clean your mouth effectively. Baking soda's slightly abrasive texture helps to scrub away surface stains caused by things like coffee, tea, or red wine. It's not just good for cosmetic improvements either, it's effective at neutralizing acids in the mouth, which can help prevent tooth decay. The alkalinity of baking soda helps to balance the pH in your mouth, reducing harmful bacterial growth.
So, like, after, if you're a coffee drinker like I am, or a red wine drinker, you want to do this at least a couple times a week. Take the baking soda. I take mine with a little bit of coconut oil, and I put the coconut oil and the baking powder together, the baking soda together, and mix it up and make a nice scrub and do it like 2 minutes, and then I'll let it sit on for a minute and get all the stains and just like a good gingivitis like refresh. It's so good for you. It's definitely something, and it's so inexpensive to do. But if you do it with the coconut oil is also an anti-inflammatory. So you're like doubling down on greatness and great gum health and all the fighters for keeping your teeth healthy, your bones strong. So that's a nice life hack to know about.
By brushing with a paste made from baking soda and water or using toothpaste that includes it, you're helping to create an environment where bacteria find it harder to thrive. It's also worth mentioning that baking soda can help with foul breath. Many forms of bad breath are caused by acid-producing bacteria, and because baking soda neutralizes these acids, it can freshen your breath at the source.
Good breath.
Additionally, it helps maintain healthy gums by reducing plaque buildup, which is the root cause of gum disease. A simple rinse of baking soda and water can even serve as an effective mouthwash if you're looking for an all-natural alternative to alcohol-based rinses.
And throw some pepper.
While baking soda is safe to use for oral care, it's best to use it in moderation. Its abrasiveness, while gentle, can wear down enamel if used excessively. A couple of times a week is plenty to reap the benefits without causing damage. With consistent use, you'll notice whiter teeth, fresher breath, and an overall healthier mouth, making baking soda a cost-effective addition to your dental routine.
$3.
3. Boosts exercise performance. Here's a benefit that might sound too good to be true. Baking soda can actually improve your exercise performance. While it's not a replacement for a solid workout or a balanced diet, it can give you that extra edge when it comes to endurance and reducing fatigue. This is especially helpful for athletes or anyone involved in high-intensity workouts where lactic acid buildup in the muscles can lead to discomfort and tiredness. When you push your muscles hard, such as during sprinting or weightlifting, your body produces lactic acid. This is what often causes that burning sensation and muscle fatigue, limiting how long and how hard you can exercise. Baking soda works as a buffering agent, helping to reduce the acidity in your muscles, allowing them to keep performing for longer before reaching the point of fatigue.
Now
The science behind this is pretty straightforward. Baking soda is alkaline, and when you ingest it, it helps to balance out the pH levels in your muscles. Several studies have shown that taking a small dose of baking soda before a workout can enhance performance in activities that require short bursts of high-intensity effort, like sprinting or interval training. It can delay the onset of muscle soreness and allow you to push harder for longer periods. If you're thinking about trying this, it's important to do so cautiously. Typically, athletes mix about a teaspoon of baking soda with water and consume it 30 to 60 minutes before their workout. But start slow, as consuming too much can lead to gastrointestinal discomfort, including bloating and nausea. If you get the dosage right, you might find that you have a little more gas in the tank during your next intense workout session. Baking soda is a natural and affordable way to enhance your performance, and it's well worth trying if you're looking for a simple yet effective edge in your fitness routine. 4. Soothes skin irritations. Baking soda isn't just for internal health, it's also a fantastic remedy for external skin issues. Whether you're dealing with an insect bite, a rash, or mild sunburn, baking soda can help soothe the irritation and bring relief. It's anti-inflammatory.
So I would probably do something like a coconut oil with a little bit of the sea salt, what we learned about yesterday, a little bit of sea salt or Himalayan salt with the coconut oil and some baking soda. Sounds like that's going to be like a catch-all remedy for any type of external rash, bites, or, scrape, cut, healing wound type of medicine. So the olive oil is anti-inflammatory and helps you heal quicker, has antioxidants in it. And then putting it, the salt, the healing agent of the salt, and they say don't put a salt in the wound, but if it's going to help you heal, you want to do it. But the coconut oil will probably take that bite off, and then putting a little bit of baking powder to help rebalance the skin right there and help heal it. We're on to something here, I'm feeling.
Inflammatory and antibacterial properties make it a versatile remedy for various skin ailments. One of the best ways to use baking soda for skincare is by making a paste. Simply mix it with water to form a thick consistency, then apply it to the affected area. This paste works wonders on insect bites, as it helps to neutralize the toxins that cause itching and swelling.
Oh,
it can also calm the skin if
itching
you're
out.
dealing with a rash or minor allergic reactions. Another way to use baking soda for your skin is to add it to your bath water.
What?
A baking soda bath can help soothe sunburned skin by reducing the redness
Oh,
and
I have
discomfort.
heard that. Okay, the
It also
sunburn.
works well for people with sensitive or irritated skin due to conditions like eczema.
Interesting.
The alkalinity of baking soda helps to balance the pH of your skin, promoting faster healing and reducing irritation. If you have body odor or sweat excessively, baking soda can help with that too. Its natural deodorizing properties can neutralize body odor by eliminating the
up in
bacteria that cause it. Whether applied as a paste or added to your bath, baking soda is an easy, affordable, and effective solution for many skin problems. 5. Supports kidney health. The kidneys are essential organs that help filter waste and maintain the body's delicate balance of electrolytes, and baking soda can play a supportive role in keeping them healthy.
Wow.
For people with kidney disease or chronic kidney issues, baking soda can be particularly beneficial.
Great way to heal
One
it
of its
up.
key functions is to help balance acid levels in the blood, which is crucial for kidney function. When kidneys begin to fail, they lose the ability to remove acid from the body effectively. This can lead to a condition known as metabolic acidosis, which causes fatigue, nausea, and other unpleasant symptoms. Baking soda, as an alkaline substance, can help neutralize excess acids and prevent metabolic acidosis from worsening. Some research suggests that baking soda supplementation can slow the progression of kidney disease, potentially delaying the need for dialysis.
That's powerful.
For those at risk of kidney disease, especially due to high blood pressure or diabetes, maintaining a balanced pH in the
So if you are pre-diabetic or you do have a history of kidney function malfunction in your family, just keeping a nice, healthy routine with a teaspoon of baking soda in your water, maybe put some lemon in there because it does have a little bit of a funky taste, but it's worth it if you know that you're keeping yourself out of harm's way. So I would just take that down once a week and be done with it, just to make sure you're getting a cleanse, especially if you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or have these ailments going on with your kidneys already, since it can't move the toxins out of itself. And this is a quick way to eliminate the toxins inside of the kidney. How amazing is that? Like a household item that we normally just have sitting in our refrigerator that can have such huge health benefits. That's quite wild. That's impressive that that's a thing.
The blood is vital. Baking soda helps by reducing the acid load on the kidneys, giving them a bit of relief. However, it's important to consult with a healthcare provider before adding baking soda to your routine if you have kidney problems, as they can advise on the appropriate dosage and frequency. Even for those with healthy kidneys. 6. Detoxification and skin cleansing. Your skin is your body's largest organ, and it plays a key role in eliminating toxins from your system. Baking soda can enhance this detoxification process, making it an excellent addition to your skincare and self-care routine. Baking soda can be a powerful detoxification aid when used in baths.
Yeah, we heard
When you
that.
soak in a bath with baking soda, your skin absorbs the alkalinity, which helps to neutralize toxins and support your body's natural
I could see that being
And the best part? It's incredibly simple and
I can see that being powerful for someone who has like a lot of rashing or acne on their body, like they break out on their arms or their back or have the little bumplies. This is a great way, like doing a bath, a baking soda bath, bath soak maybe once a week just to keep that down, or maybe every other day, depending on how much you've got going on with your skin on the outside, would be eczema, psoriasis, or acne. Great way to balance your pH level in your skin to keep it nice and cleansed.
Inexpensive. In addition to detoxification, baking soda's alkalinity helps maintain the skin's natural pH balance, which is vital for skin health.
Okay, next one.
Heal and regenerate more effectively. This is especially helpful for people with conditions like eczema or psoriasis, as baking soda can soothe irritated skin while promoting healing.
Perfect.
If you're looking to elevate your
So let's go
are a perfect go-to remedy.
detox and skin.
Just remember to moisturize after your bath, as baking soda, while gentle, can be slightly drying when used frequently.
Okay.
7. Balances body pH. One of baking soda's most profound health benefits is its ability to balance the body's pH levels, particularly in reducing acidity. Many of the foods we consume daily, such as processed meats, sugar, and caffeine, contribute to an overly acidic internal environment, which may lead to a range of health issues over time, including inflammation, fatigue, and digestive problems.
That's true.
By consuming small amounts of baking soda, you can help restore a more balanced, alkaline state within your body, which is crucial for optimal health.
Nice. So now we're going to go on to the next one. 8 is a natural deodorant, which we've already heard about. And 9 is manage gout symptoms. Let's just see what that's about. We got the natural deodorant and headed to the end of that one. And we're going to go into the gout.
9. Manages gout symptoms. If you or someone you know suffers from gout, you understand how painful and debilitating it can be. Gout is a form of arthritis caused by a buildup of uric acid in the bloodstream, which crystallizes in the joints, leading to intense pain, swelling, and inflammation. Baking soda can be a natural way to help manage these symptoms by reducing the acidity in your body and preventing the formation of these uric acid crystals. Uric acid is more likely to form crystals in an acidic environment, which is why maintaining a balanced pH level is critical for individuals with gout. Baking soda, being alkaline, can help neutralize the excess acid in the blood, thereby reducing the risk of crystal formation and alleviating gout symptoms. A simple remedy for gout sufferers involves mixing half a teaspoon of baking soda with water and drinking it several times throughout the day, but always consult with a healthcare provider before starting any home remedies, especially for chronic.
That's if you're having a flare-up several times throughout the day. That's if you're trying to get rid of a gout flare-up, so it'll help get rid of those alkaline crystals in there.
Conditions. In addition to its ability to neutralize uric acid, baking soda can also help reduce the pain and inflammation associated with gout attacks. By balancing the body's internal environment, it supports the natural elimination of uric acid through the kidneys, promoting better overall health.
And then what's 10?
10. Alleviates cold and flu symptoms.
Huh.
Baking soda can also come to your rescue when you're battling the common cold or flu. It's known for its ability to help alleviate some of the uncomfortable symptoms, such as a sore throat, congestion, or runny nose. How?
I have to try that.
Baking soda's alkaline properties can help break down mucus and clear nasal passages, making it easier to breathe. A simple saline rinse made with baking soda and water can be used to flush out your sinuses, reducing the stuffiness and pressure that often come with these ailments.
Powerful.
Additionally, gargling with baking soda and water can soothe a sore throat by neutralizing the acids that contribute to the irritation. Its antibacterial qualities may also help reduce the presence of germs in your throat, providing relief and speeding up the healing process.
Wow.
For overall,
think about all the people that are, the cold season comes and they start getting their throat, laryngitis. I know I've gotten so many times people get strep throat. You got the symptoms, the kids coming home with like the runny nose. I mean, putting a little bit of baking soda in their water is so much healthier than all of the crap that is in those medicines that they're given, that kids are given. So I'm totally down with the baking soda remedy at small doses. Everything in quantity, right? Everything in quantity. I think that was it. We're going to move on to the grand finale. So the grand finale of what I've been wanting. I mean, there's so many videos if you guys want to go. I didn't share all of them because we did run out of time because my mouth blabbing up my mouth as I do. But there's so many of these videos in my go to my playlist. The first one is podcast info vids. There's so many videos that back up. You guys know I like to deep dive on many different doctors just to kind of get a count on, are they all saying the same thing? What's the common thread? What are the top 5 things that they all mention? If there's a common thread, then I know that it's pretty legit. So I like to deep dive and do several different doctors and see what the doctors that I know and trust, see what their studies and their information that they've come up with. But I will have them all in there. We did run out of time today to get through all of them, but I did want to share with you one of the things that I found, which I thought was so invigorating to know about. That is something that you can get. Everything I'm trying to expose to you through this podcast is everything that is already out there, been out there for centuries even. These are old remedies that have stayed tried and true. They're not going to be harmful to your body. It is not a prescription. You're not adding any side effects and ailments. It is something that is going to be inexpensive, if not free. It is something that is going to help you tremendously in your health journey. So, this is something that I just ran across that I did not even know about myself. And I thought it was very, very interesting. We're going to get to that, but there is one more person I wanted to share, and I absolutely love her knowledge. So I do want to share her real quick before we do move on to the next thing. But if you go into my podcast info vids, you're going to find so much great information in here. But this is, oh, what happened? Did I go to the wrong thing? Let's see, where am I? I went way too far down. So this is a person that I ran across, and I felt like this is going to be great knowledge for us to gain from my guy that I love, Dr. Berg. What in the world? Where did it go? I'm so sorry. Give me a sec. Oh, here she is. Before we move on.
Namaskar. Did you know that there is a special ingredient in your kitchen that can be useful even outside kitchen? It is baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate. Sometimes people call it only soda. It comes in the form of fine white powder. Today I am going to tell you how it is good for your skin, for your hair, and few other purposes. First, you can use baking soda as a mild antiperspirant. Understand that you get body odor when the bacteria on your skin breaks down sweat. This produces unpleasant smell. What baking
So now we're hearing it from several different people of different backgrounds.
Another way how you should be using baking soda on your skin is to exfoliate skin. Baking soda can remove your dead skin cells and unclog your pores. This improves your skin texture. It can also soothe skin irritation and insect bite. How? Here, the fine particles of baking soda work to mechanically exfoliate the skin, while its alkalinity helps balance the skin's pH level and reduce inflammation. Mix a little baking soda, just a teaspoon, with water to form a paste. Then gently massage your damp skin in a circular motion. And
you can get a big box of baking soda for under $5. So let's just recap on what we're learning here. The baking soda can cleanse your liver, cleanse your kidneys, pH balance your body's organs and insides, clean your face, pH balance your skin. If you have psoriasis or eczema or acne or any skin lesions or issues with your skin, soak in a bath of it. You can whiten your teeth. What else? What else? Oh, deodorize. You can use it as a deodorant. And what she's about to show us is with your hair. So let's see how she uses it for your hair. I mean, for $5 and some water, like I was trying to get all fancy, but you can use it as a what is it? A mouthwash for gingivitis or cleaning your gums, health teeth. You can use it for your sickness. Your sickness. I'm going to respond to you. You can see it for your sickness, and you can fix your throat that's being plagued with sickness. You can fix your stuffy nose, your runny nose, your congestion. I mean, what other thing do you want? You could probably fix the fungus around your feet if you have any fungus on your like nails, or I mean, who knows? Let me see what this is. This is the one for the
products
hair.
and excess oil from the scalp. It improves build up
my bad.
And brush your teeth. And even you can add more water to be used as a mouthwash. For your hair, baking soda effectively removes buildup from styling products and excess oil from the scalp. It improves scalp health to make your hair shiner and more manageable. This is because the alkaline nature of baking soda helps break down oil and residues on your scalp, leaving your
Wow. Rinse it thoroughly under the water. Baking soda helps with the whitening. Yes, yes, yes. We've already known about that. It's
soda
for your
could
feet.
be used to create foot soak or scrub. This will take away any bad foot odor, soften calluses, and soothe your tired feet. Baking soda has antifungal properties, so it is good for treating
fungal infections. In which we've learned about you have fungus on your feet, that there is a bigger issue underlying in your body that you need to focus on. But it sounds to me like every mother with teenage boys need to know about this. For the feet, for the teeth, for the hair, especially today, all these boys are using so many products to keep the curls nice and tight in their hair, and they're probably not detoxifying as much as they should. So, great tips. These are great tips. Almost coming up to
such as athlete's foot.
foot.
Add a tablespoon of baking soda in warm water to make a foot soak, or you can mix it with water to create a scrub. Massage on your feet and focus on those areas which need care, and then rinse and dry your feet.
Okay, we got that. Baking soda for sunburn. Forgot about that one. Sunburn. Balancing, blah, blah. We already got those. Okay. Yep. Acne. Yep. We got
staying
all that.
hydrated, eating a balanced diet which is rich.
Which brings me to staying hydrated. Bo, you mentioned that during your very small, you said what, 12 hours of a fast? If you're fainting in a short fast like that, 12 hours, it's because A, your blood sugar is dropping too fast and you're out doing too much activity, or B, you're dehydrated. You're very extremely dehydrated. You should have already, by your day, a gallon a day, 3 40-ounce cups plus a little 8-ounce packer is how much water you should be drinking. So if you are not drinking that much water, then you were dehydrated. You need water. Your body needs water. Your organs need water. And if you're that dehydrated to the point where you're fainting, you need to immediately get some electrolytes in. And that can be as quick as taking a packet of, if you're out and about, you should be, how much water did you drink? Were you at a gallon, or were you at half a gallon even of water in your body at that point? If you're in a fasted state, you need to have your water. And if you're out and about and you can't get to electrolytes, all you have to do is put a crack of salt in, or if you're near a convenient area where they sell food, they have those little salt packets. Just have someone run you a salt packet, put it in your water, and they usually have lemon wedges for their drinks if you're out and about and there's restaurants nearby, or even like a gas station or a convenience store. A little packet of salt and a lemon wedge, which is free. Put it in your water, put it in some water, and chug it up. Chug it up, and that will shoot energy through your body, hydration through your body. Your electrolytes will be on fire, and you will feel like $1,000,000, like you just got like a shot of adrenaline. It's that simple. It's hydration. 20 ounces is nothing. That's a starter pack, and that's what you should be drinking when you wake up. You should be drinking that water, especially if you guys are going down this fasting avenue. Water is so important. So important. Yes, you can. You can do salt. You can do the salt. Sea salt, Himalayan salt. If you haven't drank enough water, salt is not bad. It's how you're eating the salt, how much salt you're having, and what type of salt. The iodinized salt, you're not. But when you're in that dehydrated state, that salt is not going to be damaging to you. It's not. Your body is shutting down because you're dehydrated and you're asking too much of it. You got to put the electrolytes in. That's all that's in an electrolyte drink is salt. Most of the foods that you eat, you probably look on the back, is salt. You're having more salt than you think that you're having. You're just not paying attention to it. You're not adding salt to it. Yeah, but it's the type of salt that you're having. You probably have so much salt in the foods that you eat that you're not paying attention to, or the drinks that you have, or the electrolytes that you have, but you have to pay attention to the type of salt. Himalayan salt and sea salt does not have an effect on your body like that. It's the iodinized salt, the salt that's been bleached and tampered with. That's the salt that you should be worried about. Sea salt and Himalayan salt are salts that your body is naturally got inside. It's not affected by it. That's not the thing that gives people high blood pressure or problems with their heart, is not sea salt and Himalayan salt. In abundance, maybe if you just sat around and spoon ate it, that could possibly change it up. But it's the iodinized salt. The big white salt comes in a thing that has a little flip up guy, and you pour out that salt. That's the salt, that old school salt. That's the salt that you don't want to mess around with. That's the salt that will get you a high blood pressure, high heart rate, and all of that. But you got to drink the water if you guys are fasting. Y'all know I'm always like, water, water, water. Drink your water, 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 water. Got to drink that water. Keep yourselves healthy. And here's another thing that I'm going to show you before we wrap this up, because it went way over today. That's okay. So here is where is this guy? Where is he? So I ran across something that he was talking about today. He, meaning Dr. Berg. And
the benefits of drinking clove water at night. Let's talk about this. Cloves at one time were worth more than gold. This is what they look like. You could see it in this little jar right here. They're these little tiny structures. A lot of people might have had these in like ham, and they're sold as a spice, and you have them already. You just need to know how to use them and what they're good for. They were so valuable, they were exchanging them with gold. Amazing. They've been used in China for over 2,000 years for certain medicines. They were also used in the Black Plague. When you might have seen pictures of those people with those long masks, and they'd be basically burning certain herbs, and would breathe in the vapors. Well, one of the spices they used was clove because of its antiviral and antibacterial properties. Also, in early dentistry, before they had certain medications that numbed the tooth problem, they use clove oil. I mean, in fact, even with minor surgeries, they use clove oil because of its analgesic effect. Very similar to the synthetic lidocaine that certain dentists use. So it's a topical, and you can put it externally on your skin. You can also put it on your gums. You can put it directly on the tooth if there's a cavity and the nerve is exposed. It will help numb that nerve. Now, the cool thing about this is there's virtually no side effects. It has antibacterial, antifungal, anti-candida, antiviral properties. In addition to numbing the tooth or numbing pain, it can also go after the microbes that are growing there, whether it's a fungal, candida, bacteria, or even virus. And where I found this information was in certain patents on using the oil of clove for various things, helping increase the bile flow as well as increasing digestive enzymes. They patented a mouthwash, toothpaste, as well as a gingivitis treatment. So it works on everything oral. And then I started looking at
Wow. So, okay. I would say add it to your baking soda concoction, but I'm pretty sure he said it is like a numbing agent, like a lidocaine. So how does that work when you're using it to brush your teeth? I would probably stick with the baking soda if we're gonna go that route. Otherwise, you're gonna walk around with a like numb tongue and numb lips. I don't know how that would work.
medications and what medications that they can, compare to in a similar effectiveness or even work better. So in this first study, they compared clove oil to something called benzocaine, which is a pain reliever that dentists use to numb the teeth. And this was in the Journal of Dentistry. They found that this oil from clove worked faster, it was longer lasting, and more effective for toothaches as well as tooth infections because it also had this antimicrobial effect as well. In another study, they compared eugenol to hydrocortisone, and they found the effectiveness was equal or greater in reducing swelling and redness of the skin. And this study was in one of the inflammatory research journals. The next study I looked at was on fungal infections like toenail fungus, athlete's foot, and they compared tea tree oil to clove oil. And clove oil killed candida and fungus faster. Then there was a comparison between clove oil and lidocaine. And in that study, clove oil had longer lasting effects for numbing. And that was in the Journal of Pain Research. So now let's get into how you can use this because you already have this in your pantry. You just need to know how to use it and what conditions you can use this on. And I'm going to give you a couple different recipes that you can make this in a salve and liquid that you can drink before bed. But let's first talk about the conditions that it's good for. Now, of course, I already mentioned it's great for anything with teeth pain or biofilms like plaquing, things like that. And of course, you can even just take one of these cloves and then just suck on it, or you can just take the oil from it and with a little cotton swab and dab it on the tooth and the gum around the tooth. But if you have a cavity, you want to actually put it right into that cavity directly. Another application is for muscle pain, okay, as well as joint pain. You're going to basically just take a couple drops, put it in a little olive oil or coconut oil, and rub it into the muscle or joint. You can also mix a couple drops in Epsom salts and water, all dissolved nicely, and rub that into the muscle as well. Because the Epsom salts is the magnesium that can also help the muscles. Some people use it as a lip balm, and you can put this on like a cold sore, which is herpes simplex. You'd have to mix a couple drops with either beeswax or coconut oil and just rub it into the lip. Remember, it's antiviral as well, and herpes simplex is a virus. With the mosquito repellent, you would put a couple drops in a little spray bottle, and you would spray that on your body. I actually use this on my cattle in the summer with all of these flies, not mosquitoes, and it works like a charm. But it's non-toxic. All right, now the following things I'm going to talk about are using clove water, which I'll explain how to prepare that. And I would drink this before bed. It seems to work really good because they help relax you and they can help you drift off into wonderful sleep as well. So might as well take it before you go to bed. It's not a necessity, but it can definitely help. So the first thing it does is it helps to detoxify the liver. So it's going to stimulate some of the enzymes to help break things down in the liver. It's going to help you with digestion. So if you have bloating, indigestion, gas, consume some of this clove water. Maybe you do this after a meal when you're bloating, and it can help reduce the bloating. Another very potent effect of this clove water is to use it for respiratory problems like bronchitis, mucus in the lungs, a cold, a cough, asthma. You can consider it as like a natural antibiotic, but without the side effects. Some people also use it for cognitive improvements, to improve the memory, concentration, the focus. But this clove water also works with heart stuff, so it can actually support a healthy heart as well, especially when you get into blood circulation. Anything related to circulation, clove water is awesome. It also has immune properties, so it can help support a healthy immune system because it's antimicrobial. Some people even use it as a mouthwash to help freshen their breath. And I've already talked about the great benefits for biofilms and breaking down plaque. And then, of course, the last one, which I kind of already mentioned, was using this as a sleep aid because it's a natural sedative without the negative effects. It does not have side effects like sleeping medication does. And there's also some tryptophan in there that will actually increase serotonin and going to help you increase melatonin. So how do you make clove water? What you do is you take about 4 or 5 of these little cloves, okay? Put them in a cup of water and bring it to a boil, and then take it off boiling so it's simmering for 5 minutes. Now, make sure that you cover it while it's simmering, because you don't want to have all these vapors escape. A lot of the remedy is in the vapors that are coming off this thing that are supposed to go back into the water. After 5 minutes, let it cool for 1 hour. What I like to do is put it back in the fridge. And then what you want to do is consume it 30 minutes before you go to bed. Now, if you're using for children, it might be a little bitter. So you might want to add a little bit of honey to it, maybe a half a teaspoon, dissolve raw honey into it, and then have them drink it. It's actually pretty delicious with honey, or I think it's good without it. If you want to make this into a cream, just put a couple drops into some coconut oil or olive oil and use that. And also, if you have like some type of wound that you want to increase the healing, I would use aloe, put a couple drops of aloe and put that over the wound so you can speed up healing, and it can also act as an antiseptic. Now, if you haven't seen my other video on clove, I think you'll really enjoy it. I put it up right here. Check it out.
Certainly stay consistent.
Wow.
Continue the conversation at.
Okay, so what a power-packed, information-packed podcast this was today. We learned a lot, right? I mean, from all the millions of remedies that literally covers your whole entire being with baking soda. And then the power pack, the little bonus round with the clove, which I am very impressed about. And then on top of that, we learned about visceral fat, which is the fat around the organs that a lot of us don't even talk much about or even know about. So this was a very informative podcast. If there is anybody that you know that could benefit from this information, that they can start doing today because it's free. And as for the baking soda or the clove, most people already have baking soda in their refrigerator or clove in their pantry, like they said, in their spice cabinet. I mean, the stuff that can change your life and start living your best life from the inside out is something you can do right now. There's no equipment involved. There's no shots or doctor's visits involved. If you want to start amping up your game, start that intermittent fasting and really get in control of what you're eating in a window. If you're not ready to give up those foods yet, that's okay. Just put it in a window. Eating in a window. All you're doing is shrinking the window. And then if you're so inclined, you want to get rid of some of those sugary drinks or snacks, throw them out. You don't need them. You don't need them. Donate them what you have. But start today. You don't have to wait for anything to happen. Literally, if you have already been eating all day today, just be done with it and be like, you know what? I'm not going to eat till the morning. And you're now on your journey, starting right now. You already had food today. You already had snacks. Don't put anything else in your mouth until tomorrow. When you wake up, if you're so inclined you need to eat something, then be proud of yourself that you got your good fasting in and now you are feeling better. Your body's going to start acting different. Just give it that time. That's all you got to do. Give it that time. This was a great episode. This was so full of information. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely going to be trying out this baking soda jam for so many things. So many things. Oh my gosh. If you haven't caught this, make sure you rewind it. I'm going to break this segment up into three 1 hour segments. But this part 3, this is going to be part 3 that this baking soda information is in and the clove information. If you have anybody that has any ailments that you know that this would benefit them, please do send them to my channel at Kara Chris TV. Hit that subscribe button and let the good times roll. Help your friends out. Help your loved ones out. The people you care, share this podcast with them. Let them have this knowledge on all of the greatness that they can have at their fingertips with little to no money at all. And starting right now. So anyway, I have to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for being here and supporting me as always. Thank you, Hal. Thank you, Bo. Really appreciate you guys always being here to support. I am so grateful for having this platform to be able to share with you guys. Please do. Sharing is caring. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. I hope you guys have a great, wonderful rest of your day. And if you're going to try any of these remedies, please let me know. Put it in the comments or come on here tomorrow and let's talk about it, because I'm definitely going to try a few of these tonight. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Drink that water. Drink that water. Talking to you, Bo.